Following the departure of Aaron Rodgers and after a failure to reach the Super Bowl after back-to-back 13-win seasons, followed by a sub-500 season, fans' unrest with the organization grew to an all-time high. With the psychedelic slinger no longer tripping in Titletown, fans were left with no one to point the finger at other than GM Brian Gutekunst. Under intense scrutiny and during a shocking turn of events, Gutekunst stepped down as general manager and has turned the reins over to Packers superfan CJ Smalls, who days earlier tweeted out, quote, "I could run the Packers organization better than at Brian Gutekunst 1, blindfolded with cheese cubes in my ears and a Fisher-Price phone, LOLs, hashtag ayahuasca rules." The city of Green Bay revolted, but ultimately gave Smalls a chance, saying he had 5 years to turn the organization around. Only problem is nobody wanted to play for a 32-year-old makeshift Madden GM, so only the worst possible free agents, desperate for a contract, would sign with the team. And now Smalls has 5 years to make it to the Super Bowl, or he will be ran out of Titletown, never to return. What's going on, everyone? CJ back here with a brand new video. This is the Madden 23 5-year rebuild, but I start with the lowest free agents in the game. Coming at you with the brand new concept here. Super excited to dive right into this one. Hope you guys are excited too. If you guys are excited for this video, make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, like the video. It helps tremendously with the growth of this channel. Let me explain to you guys what we got going on here today. So I took the Green Bay Packers, and as you can see on your screen, this is not the normal Green Bay Packers. We are a 51 rated overall team. Why, you ask, are we a 51 rated overall team? Well, let me just go ahead and show you what I did. I cut the entire roster of the Green Bay Packers and I signed the lowest free agents in Madden 23. And when I say the lowest free agents, I don't mean bad. I don't mean middle of the pack. I mean I pressed square and sorted to the bottom of the list, and these are the absolute worst free agents that Madden 23 has to offer. What we're going to be doing in this episode, we got 5 years to rebuild this team and try to bring a Lombardi Trophy back home to Green Bay, back home to Titletown. We are going to simulate the season. We are going to sign free agents. We're going to do the drafts, and we are going to see if we can first even make the playoffs. Once I show you guys this team, you're going to see how much of a stretch that just may be. But we're going to see if we can make the playoffs after a couple years, possibly, hopefully make the Super Bowl. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So none of these players, unless something crazy happens, unless the planets align and one of these players has a huge breakout, none of these players are going to be with us through the long haul. But we are going to have to slowly grind, slowly improve positions, slowly phase guys out, bring new guys in, and slowly but surely bring up this overall rating to something that is formidable, something that is reminiscent of an NFL football team. Because right now, what we got going on, this ain't an NFL football team, this ain't an XFL football team, this ain't an arena football league. Hell, this is barely a little league football team. Let me show you guys what we're working with. Stop me if you know any of these players. So quarterback, we got Tyler Bray. We got Danny Etling. We got Jake Rudolph. Halfback, we got Mekhi Sargent. Don't know him. Stevie Scott III. Don't know him. John Lovett, rookie from Penn State. Don't know him. I pride myself on being pretty knowledgeable when it comes to football. I don't know 3/4 of these players, maybe 7/8 of these players. Paul Quessenberry, he is on our team. Wide receiver, Dez Fitzpatrick. Wish it was Dez Bryant, but it's not. It's Dez Fitzpatrick. Cody White, Samson Nakua, no picture. Landon Akers, no picture. Isaac Whitney. Again, stop me if you've heard of any of these names before. Tight end, yes, Madden recognizes long snappers as tight ends in this game, so we literally have sub 30 overall players as our tight ends. We got Hunter Bradley, we got Joe Fortunato, we got Cameron Canaday, just an extremely stellar tight end room, if I may say so myself. Offensive line is just terrible. Jared Jones-Smith, Martez Ivey, Left guard, Paul Adams, Chad Slade, Najee Torin, John Toth, Nico Fala. Centers, Bryce Hargrove is our right guard. Ben Braden is our other right guard. I don't think I've seen anybody, no one's even close to a 70 rated player. Most players are in the 50s, some are in the 60s. If we're lucky, we got David Steinmetz, we got Brandon Green, just stellar offensive lineman. Defensively, does not get much better. We got Samus Rees as our left end. We got Lyndon Johnson, a former president, is on our team. We have Azure Kamara. As much as I wish that was a Kamara, the other Kamara, no, this is a Kamara, not Alvin. This is Azure. We got Jeremiah Faluaga. We got Niles Scott. Do you guys know any of these players? I don't think that I do. Defensive tackles, we got Demetrius Taylor, no picture. We got Rayshad Nichols, no picture. We got John Atkins, picture. You know it's bad when you got a bunch of people that weren't even there when Madden 23 was in development to get their picture taken. That's how you know it's bad. We got Brandon King as a linebacker. We got Jesse Lamonier. We got Elijah Ponder. It is just so bad. We got Justin Hilliard, Winton McManus, Rashad Berry, Aaron Donker. Cornerbacks, we don't got Jair Alexander no more. No, we got Gavin Heslop. We got Elijah Griffin. We got Dylan Mabin. We got Donnie Lewis, and we got Lyndon Stevens. Oh, it is just such a great sight to behold. We got Chris Cooper as a free safety. We got Elijah Holder, nobody even over 60. Cole Luke, Jalen Elliott, nobody over 60. Mason Crosby is not our kicker. No, it is Alex Kessman. And our punter is Colby Wadman. So this is our team, guys, if you can even call it that. We have a couple rules in place because obviously with this terrible team that you see in front of you, our cap room is going to just be sky high. I mean, we're probably talking $100 million. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, CJ, just go into free agency, spend all this money, increase your team, and you'll probably make the playoffs next year. Yes, you would be right, but would that be fun? It probably would be fun. Would it be good content? It probably would be good content. Are we going to do that? No, we're not going to do that. So we have some rules in place here. So each season during the regular season, I can sign 2 free agents at any point of the season. Each regular season, I can make 2 trades. Now, this is important to note. If I am making a trade to acquire a player, I must utilize the trade block. That is the only way I can make a trade. I have to trade for somebody who is on the trade block. If I am going to trade away one of my own players, which the team we have right now, nobody in their right mind would want these players. But if I am going to trade one of my own players in order to acquire draft picks, yes, I can do that. But if I am looking to acquire talent to bring onto this team, I must utilize the trade block. Now, when we get to the free agency period in the offseason, this is very important. This is going to keep it challenging. This is going to keep it exciting. We have the ability to sign 1 90+ rated overall free agent. We have the ability to sign 2 80+ rated overall free agents. And we have the ability to sign 4 70+ rated overall free agents. Now, if there is not a 90+ rated overall free agent in the free agent class, we can replace him with 2 80+ rated overall free agents. This is going to force us to grind season by season, be really smart with our draft picks, and be really smart with our free agent signings. So as we dive in here to week 1, we have to hire and assign our scouts. Now, it's worth noting every single position on this team is a position of need. So it doesn't really matter in the first season which direction we go with the draft class. It's going to be kind of like a best player available type of scenario. And as we look at the top 10 here, we see a wide receiver is projected to go first. We see a few offensive tackles and some linemen and some defensive linemen. So no quarterbacks. That is the first thing that jumped out to me. And just taking a look and seeing what we have going on with the quarterback prospects here, looks like it's not very good. So we have one quarterback, Allen Bennett, projected to go in the 1st to 2nd round. We got Manuel Soto projected to go 2nd to 3rd, and everybody else after that is a day 3 pick. So we may not be drafting our quarterback of the future. We may have to look to free agency in order to solve that problem. And it is a big problem. We will check in probably around the mid-season mark, see what we got going on for some of these prospects. And I just told you guys the rules, about signing free agents and doing trades, and what better time to improve this team right away in week 1. So I am going to make my first free agent signing, and honestly, it's probably just going to be Mercedes Lewis, former Packer. He could come back. It's probably just going to be a case of highest player available, because right now we are terrible. And I see Xavier Rhodes sitting here, 80 rated overall player, 9-year pro. I think he would be an instant spark to this team. He would be a great addition. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Xavier Rhodes. Why not? I mean, again, I cannot stress this enough. Every position sucks. This team is straight dog doo-doo. We have a straight dumpster fire of a roster. We'll probably go back maybe mid-season mark or so and sign our second free agent, but I also want to go ahead and initiate our first trade. Again, why wait? I just showed you our team. You see how terrible it is. So remember, in order to acquire players, I have to use the trade block. Davis Mills, he could be our quarterback of the future, but I'm thinking probably no. This is just going to be a case of highest player available. Elijah Mitchell, we'll put a pin in that one because he could be very interesting. The San Francisco 49er, only 24 years old. He is an 80 rated overall player. Cornerback or wide receiver, we got Kendrick Bourne. He's pretty good. Richie James, that could also be an option as well. But really, tight end may be the route to go, because right now we have long snappers. Cody Barton could be interesting. I gotta say, I'm thinking instant offense. I just showed you guys our halfbacks, and I don't even remember their names. I don't know, maybe you guys do, but I do not even remember who our halfbacks are. So why not Elijah Mitchell? Elijah Mitchell is an 80 overall rated player. Yes, we are gonna have to trade draft capital in order to get some of these guys, because right now we have nothing to offer. I mean, you see our cap space, 173 million. That is just unreal. So I don't exactly know what we're gonna do here. We're just gonna try to get a little creative. Maybe a round 3 pick this year, round 7 pick this year, and a round 2 pick next year. Would that possibly get it done? We're gonna see what it does here.
What?
And it's actually pretty close. I would love to get this trade done without having to give up a first round pick, because we are gonna need that. So after a little bit of finagling, I felt that the best route to go to bring in Elijah Mitchell was to give up a round 1 pick next year and a round 4 pick this year. I know it's a little aggressive, but it's not till next year. We may be able to make some moves to move around in the draft, and we have to get better now. So just like that, we bring in Xavier Rhodes, who was an 80 rated overall cornerback, and we bring in Elijah Mitchell, who was an 80 rated overall halfback. So that instantly makes our team better. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sim to about the mid-season mark here. At that time, we'll take a look at some of the draft prospects, see what we're scouting, see what direction we want to go. I am guessing that we're probably going to be 0-8 at that time, but you never know. Maybe we'll squeak a W in there, but I'm going to go ahead and sim to the mid-season mark. I'll check in with you guys there. I will see you then. So here in week 8, to no one's surprise, the Green Bay Packers are 0-7. It looks like we are virtually dead last in every single category. So season going just about how I would have presumed it would have went. I want to take a look and see the mock draft and some of these prospects. So the mock draft right now has us picking a left tackle at the number 1 overall pick. That would be Lane Beatles, the 6'4", 305-pound left tackle out of LSU. He looks pretty good at initial observation. He has A awareness, A impact blocking, and both of his pass block and run blocking skills should be pretty good. And he is also a very good athlete. So let's look at, we have our top 10 prospects here on the screen. So let's just see what the top 10's looking like. The projected number 1 overall pick is a wide receiver out of Miami, Lloyd Pitts. Let's see what he's all about. I wouldn't be too upset taking a wide receiver at number 1. He's 6'3", so good, really good size for a wide receiver. He's a physical archetype, 226 pounds, So kind of like a DK Metcalf type. He has C catching, he has A catch in traffic, he has A release. A to C deep route is really good for a physical archetype. We see that he's not a crazy athlete. He can jump and he's strong, but that's about it. But his route running looks to be pretty good. A medium route, A spectacular catch, A catch in traffic. Lloyd Pitts looks like a kind of like a throw the ball up and let me just moss somebody. So he could potentially be an option. Here's the thing, guys. Everybody could be an option. There is nobody in this draft class that would not be an improvement to this team. I actually do kind of like Lane Beatles and maybe also potentially Matt Kitchen, the linebacker. He is a power rusher, 6'6". He can tackle. He has pretty good block shedding. He has good pursuit. Not a good athlete at all, however, so that kind of turns me off from him. Also, I want to note, look at all the F's on the side of the screen there. That looks like my report card in high school. He can tackle, but that's about it. So maybe that's a no for Matt Kitchen. Let's look at this quarterback. So the quarterback class is not good this year. We know that. Allen Bennett is the top quarterback prospect. He's projected to go in either the first or the second round. He's 6'2". He has pretty good accuracy, I would say. He's a pretty good athlete. He's okay. He can accelerate. He can change direction. Solid to good speed is not that good, but he can throw on the run. He does have good play action. He's pretty accurate. So maybe Allen Bennett could. Do we draft a quarterback or do we take one in free agency, assuming one's available? I mean, there will be one available. What about Manuel Soto here? So not the best picture. It looks like he was kind of, half of his face is kind of shadowed there. He's 6'5", so much taller than the other guy, and he is a strong arm quarterback, so he can throw the ball downfield. Great to elite throw power. That's good. Great to elite strength. Aside from his arm, though, he's a terrible athlete. I mean, that's the one thing Manuel Soto has going for him, is he can throw the ball downfield. Fairly accurate, but that is about it. And hey, guess what? Seeing as how we are in the mid-season mark here, we signed a free agent earlier at the beginning of the season. Let's go ahead and sign another one. Again, why not improve the team now while we can? And I still think it's going to be kind of a situation of highest rated overall available, but tight end Mercedes Lewis. Okay, so Mercedes Lewis is a Packer, or at least he is right now, unless he gets traded to New York Jets to help bring in Aaron Rodgers. But he is, at least when this game came out, he's a Green Bay Packer. He's old, been in the league 16 years, but a high rated overall. And aside from that, we just signed a halfback. We just signed a cornerback. So we don't really have to necessarily, we would not target those positions again. I do like the idea of sticking to tight end. I don't know if Mercedes Lewis is the guy because he's old, but Jordan Akins, the former Houston Texan, he could be it. So let's bring in Jordan Akins. He's 73 rated overall. The rest of our tight ends are in the 20s, so he will be an instant upgrade. I do have one more trade to make, but I got to be careful with this because I can't just bring in some great player. We just gave up a pretty decent chunk of our draft capital, and I don't want to be out here just giving away draft picks. So we could make a trade, yes, but I think that it would have to be a smart trade. I don't have to necessarily make 2 trades. It would be nice to do that, but I think we'll just wait. We brought in Jordan Akins, so I mean, at least we don't have freaking long snappers now. We have a couple, but we don't have them playing tight end. We do have 1 star development player in Elijah Mitchell, and our team is still complete dog crap, but the off season, this season's kind of a wash. The off season's where this is really going to kick off. And with that being said, I am going to go ahead and simulate to the end of the season so we can dive right into the off season. We can get this crazy, atrocious team out of our memories, start making them better, and start actually winning some football games. So I will see you guys at the end of the season. We will not make the playoffs. but we'll be ready for the offseason. So I'll see you guys there. The end of season 1 here, and surprise, surprise, we went 0-17. I could have seen that coming a mile away, and looking at the team ranks here, we are virtually dead last in every single major category. So that was pretty rough here. Upgrade to Elijah Mitchell, who is possibly our one bright spot that we have on this otherwise dark and dismal team. Everybody else, we will go ahead and let the CPU upgrade them. Going into the offseason here, one thing I want to note, as much as I don't want to bring back any of these players that we have, also, I just noticed our last game of the season, 63-3 loss to the Detroit Lions. All right, well, Detroit Lions also finished 11-6 and won our division, so how about that? But as much as I don't want to bring back any of these players that we have on our team, we're going to have to, because most of these players are probably here on one-year contracts, and we can't very well just phase out our entire team. That wouldn't be lucrative for us to do, so I'm going to have to bring back some of these guys. And I'm not really too concerned about the stats, but I am highly curious with a team this bad. I gotta see what our team did. So it looks like our quarterbacks kind of split reps here. Only 7 passing touchdowns the entire season to 24 picks. That is not good. Elijah Mitchell had about close to 700 yards. Dez Fitzpatrick, as much as I wish it was Dez Bryant, it's not. He was kind of good. And did we get any interceptions or any sacks? I'm just curious. We got a grand total of 2 interceptions all season, and we got a total of 3 sacks all season, right? If my math is correct, 1.5 plus 1.5. So yeah, we sucked. We definitely sucked. But yeah, I'm gonna have to bring back some of these players, as much as I don't want to, because I would say probably 80% of these guys, if not more, are here on one-year deals. And, you know, we can't just let the entire team walk. Whoa, so you would think that with the quality of the players that we have, such low-rated overalls, that they would have no problem coming back to this team. But let me tell you, they had zero interest. It was like pulling teeth to get those guys to come back. I got most of them to come back. Some of them walked, whatever. But we are here, guys. Let's go ahead and see. I'm crossing my fingers for a good free agent class. I will remind you of the rules. So the rules are, we can sign 1 player that is 90+ rated overall. We can sign 2 players that are 80+ rated overall. And we can sign 4 players that are 70+ rated overall. So, I mean, seeing as how we have a superstar development player, yes, Jair would be nice, but he has zero interest in joining this team. Rashawn Gary has a lot of interest in joining this team. He's a scheme fit. We have the historic championships. He's a superstar development player. He has a ton of interest, and he would just instantly make our linebacking core so much better. So his expected value is 5 years, $104 million. He is looking to get paid in the shade, and well-deserved, I would say. And might I also add, our cap room is through the roof. So let's just make Rashawn Gary probably the highest rated or highest paid linebacker in the NFL. We are going to offer him a monster 6-year, $170 or $130 million deal. As far as the rest of our signings. So hopefully Rashawn Gary signs. Now, we have Jordan Poyer. Most of these players are not going to have any interest in joining our team. Jabril Peppers does. Also Adrian Amos. So just all the Packers that we cut pretty much. Mike Gesicki. All right, so we need tight ends. Mike Gesicki is going to be my first target for 80+ rated overall. We need tight ends. Yes, we did bring in Jordan Akins, which is nice, but we still got 2 long snappers back there. So Mike Gesicki is the star development, a true tight end number 1. He is looking for 4 years, $37.4 million. He has pretty good interest. He wants the historic championships. So maybe we go We'll go 5 years, $50 million, right? I think that would probably be pretty good. And as far as our second signing, again, I'm not really scrolling through the positions because right now every position sucks and we're just looking to get better anywhere we can. So we got Michael Thomas. He might be a good option. Josh Allen, yes, but we just are trying to acquire a linebacker right now. I think we got no wide receivers, right? I mean, we got nothing. We got nobody, but Michael Thomas, he's 30 years old. He's still star development. He's still an 86 rated overall player. He's looking for 4 years, 4 years. That would mean he would play till he's 34, and he would definitely start to regress at that time. He has no interest in joining this team, so we are going to have to overpay him, but our cap space, as you can see, it's in a really good spot. I mean, we have tons of money. We got money to blow. Most of those no-name players that I had to bring back, I was able to bring them back on like 2-year, $1.5 million deals, stuff like that. Let's just get this ball rolling here. Let's do Bryce Callahan as our first offer. He does have interest in joining, so that's good. He's a scheme fit. He would, yes, be top of the depth chart. Only looking for a 1-year deal, and, you know, I'm fine with that. 1 year, $6.5 million. We'll see where that gets us. Anybody with red interest, we're going to have to overpay them. And it's worth noting, yes, it's not an issue now, but this is a 5-year rebuild. By the time we get to year 3, year 4, those cap hits will start to be an issue. So Paris Campbell, he's a 78, 26 rated, or 26 age, I'm sorry.
Bruh.
Still young. He's looking for a 3-year, about $20 million deal. And I would be totally cool with bringing him in on a 3-year, $21 million deal. I would be fine with that. All right, so we got Rashawn Gary. That takes care of our 90 rated player. We got Mike Gesicki. We got Bryce Callahan, and we got Paris Campbell. So who was the other one that we did? We targeted another one that was 80 rated. Who was that we didn't get, or did we? Let me see. Michael Thomas. So Michael Thomas decides to go to Philly. All right, so now we can go back and look at another 80 rated overall player, assuming that there are still some available. Devin McCourty might be nice, but he is kind of old. Shout out to the Austin Armadillos. He's our free safety in the Austin Armadillos franchise, if you guys watch that. So I'm thinking Adrian Amos. You know, I realize we just cut him, but whomever he signed with must not have wanted to pick him back up. He's looking for a 2-year deal. He has moderate interest. I think a 2-year, maybe $18 million deal might be good. And we still got 270 plus rated overall players. So let's go back to Ethan Pocic here. He has a lot of interest in being with us. He's star development, looking for a 2-year deal. He's 28 years old, so he may start to regress fairly soon. And just to be safe, why don't we do a 2-year, $12 million offer, just in case anybody else tries to bid on him. Looking at linebackers here, we got to have a good Mike linebacker. We got Chris Barnes available. He's 75 rated, still star development, and has moderate interest in joining the squad. I would actually be good with bringing him in on a 3-year deal. You know, 3 years, $10 million. I think that he would hopefully accept that. So we'll go ahead and do another eval period here. Keeping our fingers crossed, seeing if any of these other fellas, actually, if everybody signs that we just gave an offer to, that would complete our free agent period. So let's take a look here. All right, well, we see Chris Barnes sign. Let's go to the all positions, top 100. So we got Rashawn Gary, we got Adrian Amos, we got Mike Gesicki, and we got all but one of the, we didn't get Ethan Pocic. So where's Ethan Pocic? The Steelers. So he goes from the Browns to the Steelers. Okay. I want to stick on this trend of offensive linemen here. We could do Billy Price potentially. We don't need a center. I want to try to find somebody maybe with star development, if that is even possible, but looks like it might be slim pickings here for us, as a lot of these other players already signed. Some left tackles do have interest. Zach Tom, he's only 24. He is normal development, but he's young and he has a lot of interest in being with us. So He wants this historic championships. I'm glad we chose the Packers because that has proven to be a very good decision. We'll go 2 years, 13.6. I would have to imagine that he would sign. And assuming that he does, this would cap off our free agency period. So Zach Tom did sign with us. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to your new Green Bay Packers. Rashawn Gary coming back. Adrian Amos coming back. Those are 2 former Packers. We got Mike Gesicki, a true tight end, number 1. We got Bryce Callahan, Paris Campbell, Chris Barnes, and Zach Tom. So that is instantly, and I mean instantly, going to make this Green Bay Packers team a lot freaking better than it was. Is it good yet? No, but we got some star development in there, which is nice to see. Why did I not look at quarterbacks? Hold on. Let me just go back to the free agents. Was there even any good quarterbacks in here? I just completely skimmed past that. So not really. All right, so we didn't miss out on anything really too crazy. All right, draft time, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and buckle your seatbelts. Hope you got your popcorn. Hope you got your snacks here. I don't know what to do here, so here's kind of what I'm thinking. I'll go ahead and show you guys. Well, I can't show you the draft board now. So the quarterback is projected to go in the 27th pick to the Houston Texans. We do need a quarterback, but I just can't justify picking somebody. The scouting revealed that he's a true round 2 to 3 talent. So he's not a round 1 talent. So I'm thinking about possibly trading away this pick if there is something that looks to be good here, and maybe getting that quarterback later in the draft. Let's just take a look because we need a quarterback, right? I did not look at the quarterbacks in the free agency, and we need one. So Philly, interesting. They would be able to offer us the 19th pick, a round 1 next year, which I love, and also a round 4 this year too. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and trade our number 1 overall pick. I know this probably seems dumb, but you gotta trust me on this. We gotta get the quarterback. We have to, right? We cannot walk away from this draft without a quarterback. There is no good quarterbacks other than the number 1 quarterback, who is a true round 2 to 3 talent. We have to get a quarterback. If we don't pick him in the first round, we won't get him. I'm not going to spend a number 1 overall pick on a quarterback. So trading with Philly, trading down to the number 19 pick, and getting a first next year, and getting a number 4 this year, it makes the most sense. Now, if something crazy happens in that quarterback, I think his name's Alan Bennett. I'll show you guys here. So you're probably thinking, CJ, you're crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy at all. So Alan Bennett, there he is. He's a true talent, round 2 to 3, but we have to get him. We have to get a quarterback. There is no other good quarterbacks in this draft. I mean, he is literally it. So it's unfortunate that there's no, I went through and looked at all these guys. There's nobody that looks to be good. We might even be able to honestly get away with trading down. He's still here. He was mocked to go to the Texans. Could we possibly trade down again? I don't know. Let's see what's available. We could move down 2 spots with the Raiders. That probably is the move. Surprised they're willing to give up that much, but we would also get a round 3 pick in this draft as well, and that would allow us to target maybe somebody else. So that is the move. I think we're going to go ahead and trade down again with the Raiders to only move down 2 picks, 2 spots that is, and then we should definitely be able to take quarterback Alan Bennett, and we just acquired a bunch more draft capital, and he is still there. So we will go ahead and make our selection. It is going to be the quarterback. It has to be the quarterback. There is no scenario where it cannot be the quarterback, because I am not going with freaking Jake Rudock or Tyler Bray or whoever the heck else our quarterbacks were. If I do that, we ain't getting to the Super Bowl in 5 years. I don't know. He's 6'2", scrambler archetype. He's accurate, if nothing else. And he is hidden dev. Okay, so that is good. That is good indeed. He is hidden dev. That's great to see. He's got 90 acceleration. He's fast. He's quick. He's agile. And he's also accurate. So that might actually have been a pretty good pick. We also pick again directly in second round. So, you know, only a couple more picks down the road. All right, so now it is our pick again. Let's see who is on my board here. I did favorite a bunch of players. We're in the second round now. We'll see who's still available. I really liked Josh Street, the defensive tackle out of Kansas State. He's a power rusher. He's got A power moves, but also for being a power rusher, he still has C finesse moves. And you look at his skills here, or his pro day, he's first and second in almost every category. Elite speed for a power rusher. Okay, I definitely like that. He's got A play rec, A hit power, A power moves, C finesse moves. We did not target a defensive tackle in the free agency period, so he would definitely help us out. The question is, could we also draft somebody in a different position and then look to trade to potentially get Josh Street? That's the question. So we did sign a couple corners. We might be okay in that department. We also got the free safety here. We did bring in Adrian Amos. He's a strong safety. So maybe Marquis Ballard, the free safety. We'll look and see what he's got going on here. He's not a spectacular athlete. He does have pretty good traits though. He's got A catching, B zone coverage, and A to C man coverage. So maybe we could potentially draft the free safety Marquis Ballard and then also still try to acquire Josh Street. If we have to move up and pick him, maybe we'll do that. Think that Marquis Ballard, the free safety, 6'1" out of Louisville, is going to be our pick. And he is only normal development though, so that is unfortunate. Still looks to be pretty good trait-wise. And the question now is, can we still get the defensive tackle Josh Street? All right, we're here at pick 10 with Seattle, and you know, as much as this is aggressive, yes, we need a defensive tackle. We did not sign any in free agency. Josh Street looks to be very good, and I would like to just go ahead and get him now. It's the age-old saying, you go and get your guys. You get your guys when they are available. You don't wait and find out that they're superstar development later on. I'd be willing to give them the second for next year and one of our thirds for this year. If they take this, that'll be great. Done deal. Let's send it to the office. Maybe overpaid a little bit. I might have been able to do a fourth round pick, but whatever. It happened. I know who I'm going to get. I know who I'm going to target. We are going to go ahead and pick in the second round here, Josh Street, the defensive tackle. He's a power rusher who is also very fast, and he's only normal development. No, I was sure that he was going to be hidden. He is not. He is very strong, and he's also pretty quick too, but not having that hidden development is killer. Here in the third round, how about center Darren Boss? So we need a center. We definitely need a center, seeing as how Ethan Pocic stood us up in free agency. He is 6'3", over 300 pounds, from North Carolina. He's got B run block. We don't know what his pass block is. His awareness is good. His impact blocking is good. Not the greatest of athletes, but solid in pretty much every category. And again, we will fill a position of need. So Darren Boss is hidden development. That is good. He's getting fired up. He's very strong, and he can accelerate as well. And, you know, we're filling positions. We are getting better slowly but surely. That was a great decision by me to move down in the draft twice to acquire some draft picks. We got our QB. I have some players that I favorited down here who look to be pretty good in the later rounds. So I was looking at a center, but we just got a center, you know, and there was also another tight end, Tyler Sexton. By getting him, this would give us 3 true tight ends, and Tyler Sexton looks very good. We see his athletics and everything. So if Tyler Sexton is still available at our pick in the fourth round, he will be the pick for sure. All right, so we're here in round 3, pick 25, and I did see 2 tight ends go off the board. So the next tight end is Sexton, and I will tell you that if we get to round 4, pick 1, and he has not been taken yet, I probably will get on the phone and call somebody up, because that will go ahead and just shore up our tight end room. Our tight end room will be good with Mike Gesicki and Jordan Akins and, you know, Tyler Sexton, assuming we draft him. And it looks like as long as the Bills don't get him, that he will still be available, and they don't. So I am going to go ahead and again get on the phone here. We're going to try to move up into the round 4, pick 1 with the San Francisco 49ers because I really want to get that tight end. We'll go ahead and give them, of course, our 4th round pick. We'll also give them a 7th. So very, very good. We did not give up a lot. We moved up, you know, 23 spots, and now I'm nearly positive that I am going to go ahead and pick Tyler Sexton, the tight end, because I think that he is going to be very good. He has very good traits, and that will shore up our tight end room. So he's 6'5", B catching, A catching traffic. He's number 1 in multiple categories at his pro day, and his skills look to be very good too. Tyler Sexton, hidden development, I knew it, and he's got 80 plus across the board other than strength. So that was very happy with that. That was very smart in my opinion. And now we'll just go ahead and skip to round 5, pick 1. I still got some players on here that look to be pretty good. I know there was somebody on here that was like a day 3 pick that I was super excited about. Let me look and see who that was. Actually, Daniel Green, left guard, is the only one. Maybe it was him. He's the only one still left on my favorites. He's got A pass block. He's got C run block. And he was first as far as agility. We know he can pass block and he can run block decently as well. For a day 3 pick, sign me up. I'm all for it. So Daniel Green, all right, I mean normal development, but that's okay. All right, so Alan Bennett, our number 1 overall pick, is a 72. Not great, but also not terrible. Marquez Ballard, the free safety we picked up in the 2nd round, was a 76. Actually, this draft was a freaking home run, if I do say so myself. Everybody over 70, not one person under 70 rated overall. We drafted a 72 rated overall quarterback in Alan Bennett, hidden development, 76 rated overall, gonna be close to the highest probably in the draft. Josh Street, who we traded up for, he's a 75. Darren Boss is a 75 rated overall hidden development. Tyler Sexton in the 4th round, 73 hidden dev. Daniel Green in the 5th round, 75. And even our token kicker that we got in the last round was a 70. So that was actually a tremendous draft. There was a running back that was 79 rated. Lloyd Pitts, that was that wide receiver that we were mocked to get. I guess we should have got him. Actually, there was some really good positions here, some really good overalls, but we did have a 76, which is, you know, up there, close. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that draft. And look at that. Daniel Green in the 5th round was a 75. Let's take a look at this team and see what we've been able to do in just a matter of 1 year. I'll tell you one thing that we have done is we have raised this team 20 overall points. So we are now at a 71 rated overall team, which is a welcome addition. We'll meet this new look Green Bay Packers squad. I'll show you guys what we're working with. Obviously, our number 1 draft pick, quarterback Alan Bennett from Northern Illinois. He is hidden development. And yes, we did trade down twice in the 1st round, and we're still able to acquire him. Our rookie tight end, Tyler Sexton, they have him as fullback, and I don't know. I think we don't really have a true fullback right now, so I guess Jordan Akins will slide into that role. We got Elijah Mitchell, young star development halfback, and I actually made a grave error. I forgot to turn off injuries, which I did turn off now. I don't like doing injuries on these rebuilds. So Paris Campbell, the wide receiver that we signed in free agency, is out for 5 weeks. So that is very unfortunate. And we have a problem here, Houston, because we have no wide receivers. Probably going to have to go pick up one of those in free agency or possibly trade. Our offensive line does look better, not on the right side though. The right side is still very suspect, if you will, but we have our center, Darren Boss, who we got, I think in the 4th round, I want to say. He's a hidden development player, and he's a very high rated overall. So our offensive line is looking much better. We also drafted rookie Daniel Green, and he was somebody that we traded up in order to get. He is a rookie from Texas. He is a 75 rated overall. I know we got him, I want to say, in the 5th round. We also signed Zach Tom, and then we don't no longer have long snappers as tight ends, which is a blessing right there in and of itself. Defensively, we drafted rookie Josh Street, the defensive tackle. He is also a 75. We did very good in this draft. Everybody that we drafted was over a 70 rated, so I am very pleased with that. Defensive end, it looks like I did not sign Dean Lowry, but I think that the CPU probably auto-signed him because we were lacking in depth at that position or something, but he's still not good. And then we got Azure Kamara, so we're probably, I am actually going to focus on defensive end in the draft. I have our 3-tier scouting defensive end. We got Rashawn Gary as our linebacker, and we also got this kind sir right here, Chris Garrett, as the other linebacker. So having Gary, we'll probably stick in this 3-4 because he is a rush linebacker, hands down. And then we did sign Chris Barnes in free agency. He's a star development middle linebacker. Here we drafted free safety Marquis Ballard, who was a 76 rated overall player out of Louisville. He looks to be very good, only normal development, which kind of sucks. But since he's young, he's a high rated overall. He should still develop pretty quickly. We did bring back Adrian Amos, the former Packer, and then our cornerback room looks a lot better as well. We got Bryce Callahan that we picked up in free agency. We got Xavier Rhodes, who we got last year. He actually regressed back down to normal dev, which is kind of unfortunate. Before we sim to midseason, we got to pick up a wide receiver. We got nobody, and I am able to sign 2 free agents each year, and we got to bring in a wide receiver now. So let's take a look and see who's here. I don't want to bring in somebody, extremely old like Julio Jones.
What?
Marvin Jones, probably no. Jamal Agnew, possibly. Shout outs to the Cupcake Relocation franchise, Austin Armadillos. Jamal Agnew has been balling out for us. If you haven't watched that series, if you like full-length franchise content, be sure to check that out. And I'll be honest with you guys, Jamal Agnew, he's young, he's fast, he's 93 speed, he's 76 rated overall. Paris Campbell's going to be out for a while. I think we'll just go ahead and bring in Jamal Agnew. We also have to look to get better on the right side of the offensive line, and we could also probably stand to bring in one more wide receiver as well. So let's take a quick peek at the trade block here. We don't really have, we gave up a lot of draft capital. We did gain some of that back by trading down, so I don't really know if I want to keep losing our draft capital or not, but let's just see who's here. So Isaiah Hodgins, Chase Claypool, they would be good. KJ Hamler as well. All 3 of those guys are viable options. And let's just look at the offensive line here. That's really where we need to get better. David Quessenberry is here. He's a right tackle. And then right guard Solomon Kinley. Nobody really that great, but they might be easy to acquire. And actually a round 6 and a round 7 pick almost gets the job done. So is there somebody, maybe a player? We don't really have anybody that, would command too much trade stock. But maybe somebody who's young, somebody who, could have the potential. We have a lot of wide receivers here. Do they want one of our wide receivers? Who's the youngest here? Maurice French, 64 rated overall. He's got to get it done, right? I feel like if we throw him in there, that would be enough, and it is. So first trade of the season, not a blockbuster trade by any stretch of the imagination, but we signed a position that we needed to get. We signed, a right tackle. The right side of that line is not good, and we also brought in a pretty stellar wide receiver at Jamal Agnew. So I'll go ahead and sim to midseason, guys. We're 71. We might be able to get our first victory of the season. Let's see if we can get that done. I'll see you guys in a minute. So yes, we won our first game as this new look Green Bay Packers with your boy CJ Smalls at the helm here. Owner, player, coach CJ Smalls. We got our first victory. And who was that against? I'm very curious to see who took the L against this Green Bay Packers squad, and it looks like we beat the Falcons 23-17. So, all right. I mean, we are putting up points. That's one thing. Here against the Broncos, we scored 35. We scored 35 against the Bears. So maybe our rookie quarterback is having himself a pretty good season. We are putting up points, so that is good. We just can't prevent any points. Got a bunch of upgrades here. Let's take a look at some of these rookies. Maybe some of their development traits are revealed. First up here on the docket is Darren Boss, and he is an agile, would be his scheme fit. Yeah, sure, we'll go that route. Does not increase his overall, as he only gets +3 to run, block, finesse, but he is revealed to be at star development. So I mean, you know, for getting him, when did we get him? I want to say we got him in the 5th round. Let's take a look and see. No, we got him in the 3rd round. Okay, but still, 3rd rounder, star development center. Alan Bennett, is his development trait revealed? That is the question. We are going to continue to dump some points into improviser, because that does typically give a lot of upgrade. He does get, now remember, he is very accurate. We know that. He had B's across the board in accuracy. Gets a little better at short accuracy, throwing on the run. And he is actually hit in development, but he only needs one more snap to reveal his development trait. So we will most definitely know that by the end of the season. Everybody else is just kind of our depth players. So we'll go ahead and let the CPU handle that. Hoping for a big season from Alan Bennett. Doesn't look like he's really doing that great as far as yardages go anyways. 1,600, let's see how that stands against the rest of the NFL. Could be up there. No, we got guys over 2,000 already. So Alan Bennett is not really playing that great to start off with, but he's a rookie. I mean, you know, he was a low rated overall. He is positive on the touchdown to interception ratio, so I guess that's good to see. As far as rushing, Elijah Mitchell's at 444. Or 448 rather. And, you know, we got guys that are, well, Saquon Barkley's almost doubled that. He's balling out. But we got guys that are in the 600s, so he's pretty far down there in the pack, you know, so nothing really too crazy. It looks like our quarterback is pretty mobile, though. He has 128 yards already. And as far as receivers go, Jamal Agnew is leading the pack as expected. And I may look to Mike Gesicki leading us in touchdowns. That's nice. I might look to sign another free agent wide receiver, as well as maybe trade somebody. Not sure yet. Interceptions, doing a lot better this year. We got Adrian Amos, Xavier Rhodes, each got 2. And then our 2 of our big free agent acquisitions, Chris Barnes and Rashawn Gary, not typically known for interceptions, also have 1 apiece as well. We're not getting that much pressure on the quarterback. Only 5 sacks so far this season. So, you know, that's not really anything too crazy. Mock draft number 2 is also available as well, and we will see what they have us going. Linebacker, Damian Cunningham. I haven't looked at any of these prospects yet. I'll do that after the, you know, the playoff mark here, which I'm assuming we're probably not going to be a part of that. But Damian Cunningham, they have him mocked to us. He's an Ohio State Buckeye, 6'2" power rusher. He's got good pursuit, good tackling. But not really a good athlete. And linebacker is, I mean, again, every position, yes, is still a huge position of need, but there are positions that we should most definitely fill before we go after another linebacker. Chase Claypool might be somebody that I look to bring in here. The Commanders need a right guard, a linebacker, a tight end. So we could possibly trade away Jordan Akins if that's something that they want to do. Or maybe we go and sign somebody in free agency just to turn back around and trade to Washington to acquire Chase Claypool. That could be something we could do. So right guard and linebacker and tight end. Let's look and see who's here in free agency. Is there anybody we can bring in to maybe sweeten the deal and possibly acquire the TikTok star himself, Chase Claypool? You know what? We'll bring on Quan Alexander, and he's not going to remain with the team, because we are going to try to ship him off to Washington to acquire Chase Claypool. And that will also take care of both of our trades that we can do each season. And that will also take care of both of our free agent signings that we can do each season. We ship off Quan Alexander, whom we just picked up. We shipped off Jordan Akins. We got Tyler Sexton, the hidden development tight end. So Akins probably won't see the field too much. And we give up a 3rd round pick next year in order to acquire a superstar development tight end in Chase Claypool. And I think that's good. I'm happy with that. That makes, especially having Paris Campbell back now, we got 3 pretty good wide receivers. Nobody crazy, no superstar, but we got Paris Campbell, we got Jamal Agnew, we got Chase Claypool, and look at that. Tyler Sexton is a superstar development tight end. How about that? I knew he was good, and I know we drafted him lower. I want to say we drafted him. Maybe he was the one that we got in the 5th round. When did we draft him? 4th round. So we drafted a superstar development player in the 4th round. I forgot to tell you, I'm the owner, player, coach, and I'm also the scout as well. We're not playing great this year, but we have the 15th rated offense in the league. Our defense sucks, 30th in the league, but we do defend the rush pretty well. And believe it or not, we're not last place in the division. So our division's terrible, might I add, the NFC North. If you're looking to rebuild a team with the most terrible free agents in the game, go to the NFC North, apparently. Will we make a playoff push? Will we win? I'm going to say we win 3 games. That is my prediction. So I will catch you guys at the end of the season, and we'll see if that rings true. We did not win 3 games. We won 2. But you know what? It's 2 more games than we won last year, so I'll take that. Vikings end up taking the division at 9-8. Again, it was a terrible division. Yes, looks like the Chargers and the Bucks were the number 1 seeds in the respective conferences, and the Vikings are in there, the only team from the NFC North in there. So the question is, how did we do? How did our players do this season? What do we need to focus on in this coming off season? I just saw a clip that we were the 30th ranked offense in the league. So Alan Bennett, respectable, very respectable rookie campaign, 4,401 yards, maybe a rookie record. I don't know. Fact check me on that. 26 touchdowns to 18 interceptions. 18 interceptions, not good, but he did complete 60% of his passes. And was his development trait revealed? I'm sure it was. Got a couple upgrades too here as well. So let's do one to improviser. And I also am probably going to do one to strong arm, I think, just to get that arm a little bit better. He is a 74 rated now, playing down to 72 with morale. And he is star development. So, I really didn't expect anything more than that. But he had a very good rookie season. Maybe in the runnings for rookie of the year. Elijah Mitchell actually did cross 1,000 yards as well. So that was pretty good. Found the end zone 11 times. Bennett rushed for 300 yards. He found the end zone twice. So we know, if nothing else, he is a mobile quarterback. But I am very happy with the production that we got from Elijah Mitchell. Receiving, Jamal Agnew, the man that I picked up in free agency. Shout out to the Austin Armadillos Cupcake Relocation franchise. He led our team in receiving yards. And another receiver that I traded for, Chase Claypool. Now, all these yards didn't come from us, I'm sure, but he still had 842. Mike Gesicki didn't really perform that well. And Tyler Sexton, who he is superstar development, didn't really have that spectacular of a season. We got to make sure that, that we work him in to a lot of sets, because we don't want him to lose that development trait. Chris Barnes led the way in tackles. As far as tackles for loss, all right, Dean Lowry, the CPU, picked him up, and he led us in tackles for loss. So,
wow.
I am not upset with that at all. Josh Street, too, our rookie defensive tackle. Got to check on these rookies. Got to see how they did. Sacks, Rashawn Gary led the way. Chris Garrett was not far behind. And as far as picks, we had pretty decent. Rookie Marcus Ballard did have 2. Josh Street, our other rookie, had 51 tackles, 15 of those for loss, 1.5 sacks. So that's pretty good as well. So, not too disappointed really with the production from our rookies. And we were 30th in the league in offense, and we were dead last in defense. So got to continue to focus on this defense here. I want to see if any of our players, I got to figure that Alan Bennett has to be up there for offensive rookie of the year. Jalen Hurts does win your MVP. Sure, you're not going to see any Packers in here. And I highly doubt that you are going to see owner, player, coach, scout DJ Smalls in there for coach of the year, which we do not. We got ousted by 2 Buccaneers. Are you kidding me? Oh no, Bryce Sherman of the Bucks and Brian Towns. What positions do they even play? Alan Bennett was 3rd in the running, and we also, Marcus Ballard was up there. Also, another Earl Thomas. Wow, I guess not the Earl Thomas that I'm sure you guys all know. Got the Chargers and the Seahawks. Very interesting here in Super Bowl 58. As far as the draft prospects, defensive end was actually pretty weak in this class. I noticed that middle linebacker is really good. Tackle is outside offensive line is really good. And also just the linebacking core in general is really good. So I see, George Boston here. He could be a good option for us. We got to get better in this 3-4 defense. We need two middle linebackers there. So George Boston could be good. Will Barton looks to be a very solid defensive tackle, but we already got one, and we are in a 3-4, so we don't really necessarily need two. A couple good tackles here, Gio Henson, Nathan Landry. They look to be very solid. Got some wide receivers down here, some interior offensive linemen. Saw a really good halfback, Jaleel McCord. But after that production from our running back, Elijah Mitchell, I probably wouldn't really go that route. Let's go ahead and simulate to the offseason. I am predicting that the Los Angeles Chargers get their first Super Bowl victory in franchise history over the Seattle Seahawks. Justin Herbert, assuming he's still here, I think he is, and they do. So, all right, very good. So, Chargers do beat the Seahawks, and we are going to go ahead and simulate here to the offseason. So, offseason number 2, free agent signing period number 2. Did anybody from the Chiefs retire here? That's the question. Xavier Rhodes, so we just lost one of our second best cornerbacks. So, yeah, we'll probably have to get better in that department as well. Do got 12 players ready to negotiate. At least it's not 52 this time. Is there anybody that I'm going to have to bring back? Yes, indeed. I think there is. So, David Questenberry, we just signed him. We're going to try to bring him back again. He has no interest. We have to remain solid there when it comes to depth on the offensive line. And we still got a ton of cap room to play with. So I'm okay with overpaying some of these players. We'll give David Questenberry 1 year, $5 million deal, which is definitely overpaying, but it is what it is. Bryce Callahan, we got to bring him back now. After the departure of Xavier Rhodes, we definitely need to bring Bryce Callahan back. He is 32, but we don't have any other cornerbacks. So we're going to do $5 million a year for him as well. 2 year, $10 million. He should definitely accept that, which he does. Dylan Mabin, don't even know who this is, but I know we need cornerbacks. He has moderate interest in being here. He's young, 26, so we'll do a 2 year, 4.8er should get it done, which it does. And we'll see who else. Chase Claypool, yes, please, and thank you. He is still star development, has no interest in joining this team because we are not a scheme fit. There's income tax in Washington, and we do not have a franchise quarterback yet. That can definitely happen down the road. I'm cool with bringing him back on a 4-year deal. He's still young. He's happy to sign and continue to play for this great organization. Another cornerback who I have no idea, Gavin Heslop, but I just know that we need cornerbacks. So we'll do a 1 year, 2.5. He has moderate interest in being here, so that should get it done, which it does. And is there anybody else that I need to bring back? That's the question. Chris Cooper, Elijah Holder. We got to bring back one of these guys because we got to have at least one free safety. I guess we'll go with Holder because he is younger and better. He wants 2 years, $4.36 million. So we will go... we'll lock him in for 3 years, whatever. I don't really care. He would like to play for a new team. All right, well, sayonara. I guess we're going with Chris Cooper, who has he wants to be here. Chris Cooper wants to be here. And Chris, sorry, I don't want you to be here, but you're going to have to be here for now. So whatever, Elijah Holder will walk. Chris Cooper will remain. Remember the rules. I will tell you again, just to refresh your memory. We can sign one player that's 90 plus rated overall. We can sign 2 players that are 80 plus rated overall, and we can sign 4 players who are 70 plus rated overall. So what should we target in this free agency period? That is the question. Probably right. Yep. Offensive line on the right side. Yes. Looks like Sexton does retain his superstar development, so that is good. Defensively, we're gonna need, we don't need a free safety, because we got Marquis Ballard, who got elevated, might I add, to star development. See, I told you that normal development was not a problem. We definitely need cornerback depth. We definitely need defensive end. Looks like our defensive tackle, Mr. Street, is not developing here too quickly. So I'm thinking cornerback, wide receiver, and also right offensive line. But we're still very much in the highest player available mode. So let's dive in here and see what we got going on here, guys. What is the Packers going to look like here in year 3? And I think that we just found our answer. First one, that is. Ooh, also some quarterbacks available here. It'd be nice to bring in one of those, but how can you argue with a 99 rated overall player who's a superstar X factor, who has a lot of interest in being here, decent interest anyways, and a defensive line, I just said, is one of the positions that we have to get better in. So Nick Bosa, he is looking to get paid in the shade. He wants a 4-year, $128 million deal. And guess what, Nick? Happy birthday, brother, because we are going to bring you in on a 5-year deal. You're going to be here for the rest of this series. $169 million. That is a massive contract.
What I call them? Fun coupons.
But we're fighting with the Jets and the Bears. So interesting. All right, let's go ahead and go over here to the right side of the offensive line. Mekhi Becton, superstar development. I need to look no further to know that I want to bring in Mekhi Becton. And watch that cap. We have that amazing super high cap space, but watch that start to deteriorate because we're going to have to overpay some of these guys who have no interest in being here. So Mekhi, what can we do to bring in Mekhi? I mean, we're going to also lock him in on probably a 5-year deal, and we're going to go 5 years, $62.5 million deals. Going to be about a 11, 12, $13 million cap hit, rises to as much as $14 million in 2028. But even that wasn't a super strong offer for him. And what's up with our division rivals, the Bears, man? They're going back and forth with us, trying to steal these players that we're looking at from up under us. Let's look at receiver. Got to get better in the receiver department here. And I like the idea of bringing in Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk has played very good for the 49ers. He is looking for a 4-year, $61 million deal. And we are definitely going to have to sweeten the pot in order to get him. So, you know, we're giving all these players $5 million deals. But I think that that's the route to go, because that will increase the odds of them joining us. So Brandon Ayuk, we'll see what's going on with him. Right now, we're the only team bidding on him. So maybe we can actually afford to drop that a bit, right? So I'm going to go in here and revise my offer, because right now nobody is even bidding on him. So we'll just drop it about $5 million. Middle linebacker CJ Mosley would fit quite nicely into our 3-4 scheme, and he has a lot of interest in being here as well. Only looking for a $1 million or only looking for a 1-year deal. And just to kind of shore him up, we'll try to give him 1 year, $4 million. He would play very nicely alongside of Chris Barnes. That would be a good 1-2 punch. And, you know, we got defense. We were the worst in the league. Yes, we were. So we have to get better in that respect. And we also got to look at cornerback as well. So Sean Murphy Bunting is here. He would be a nice addition. So is Levi Wallace. Murphy Bunting is younger, but Levi Wallace has more interest in being here. So I'm thinking probably Levi Wallace will be the move. I would be comfortable going to one year, $6 million. And that will complete the first negotiation period that we can do. Really hoping for Nick Bosa, man. That would be tremendous. Don't even want to click this button because I'm so nervous. I don't know. Let's see who signed. Let's see who decided to sign. So only 2 players so far. No. Did the Chicago Bears steal the players that we were looking for? And it was only the 70 rated. Maybe they're still negotiating. Doesn't mean that they're off the board yet. So Levi Wallace is here. CJ Mosley is here. That is good. Brandon Ayuk is still talking. So that means everybody else was signed.
They ask you how you are. You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
The freaking Chicago Bears, man. Are you kidding me? Our division rival Chicago Bears got Nick Bosa, and they also got Mekhi Becton. So I already hated the Bears, and now I officially hate them even more. So here's the real question. Do we just do 90 plus rated? There's quarterbacks available. I realize we just drafted one, And nobody said this had to be a realistic rebuild. The point is to just take this team and bring them to the promised land. And you know what? I think Lamar Jackson has to be the move. I really do. And then the quarterback, Allen Robinson, that we got, maybe we could use him to trade around. I know that's pretty crazy, but you know, I want to win. I want this series. I want this episode, this video to end with a victory. So Lamar Jackson is looking for I don't know. This is probably close to the contract that he turned down in real life recently. No, he wanted it all guaranteed though. So he's looking for a $6 million. We're going to have to go up to $300 million probably. No other team is bidding on him right now, but it doesn't mean that they can't. And the cap hit is going to be astronomical for Jackson, but I think it's worth it. And this will instantly make us a better team. Jonah Williams might be the one. We could always slide him over to the right side if we needed to. And I think that he probably will. Jason Kelce is also here too. We do have a center, but that's the center that we drafted, Darren Boss. He could slide over and play on yeah, we're going to go after Kelce. I just talked myself into it. So look at that cap hit though. That cap hit is diminishing. Yeah, maybe Kelce's not the move. He wants only a 1-year deal. He's 36. He'll probably retire next year. Jonah Williams is probably going to be much cheaper. He's much younger, and he's not much cheaper, but we could lock him up on maybe a 3-year deal. I don't think anybody else is bidding on him, so we're actually going to drop the money a bit on Williams. I think we're going to go Folo Fadakasi. He has moderate interest in being here. Only looking for a 1-year deal, and look at that cap already down. That's of course due to the Lamar Jackson potential, factoring that in there. But we'll offer Folo Fadakasi a 1-year $6.7 million deal. We got Levi Wallace, maybe another corner though. Maybe having another corner like Sean Murphy Bunting. Maybe that would be a good move. He has no interest in being here, but nobody seems to have any interest in him being on their team either. So maybe 3 years, $17 million gets it done. So we didn't get Lamar. He's still thinking about it. We got Sean Murphy Bunting. So we do have 2 very good corners now. We also did get Folo Fadakasi as well. All we've gotten so far is our 70s. No, the Seahawks are coming in trying to scoop up Lamar Jackson. So maybe Lamar is not the answer. Maybe it's somebody more like Justin Herbert. Does anybody have any interest in him? No offers. Yeah, I think that's probably, or Jalen Hurts even potentially. So let's actually withdraw the offer from Jackson. Hurts is X factor. That's the only reason why I'm leaning more towards Hurts. And his contract would be a little bit cheaper than Jackson. He wants 7 years though. Do we want to give him 7 years though? That's the question. Do we want, I mean, it doesn't really matter because the episode would be over by then. Do we give him what he's looking for? Or he has no interest in being here. So yeah, I mean, why not? We'll give him what he's looking for. Jalen Hurts, actually, that may be a better option than having Lamar Jackson. I'm not sure. So Jalen Hurts is our new quarterback, which means, yes, we are definitely probably going to be trading our rookie, Allen Robinson. Sorry, buddy. It's Allen Bennett, actually. I don't know why I kept saying Allen Robinson. Probably because the Chicago Bears stole all of my picks, and I was kind of thinking about them. But we went ahead and locked up everybody that we tried to acquire. So Jalen Hurts is our new quarterback. Brandon Ayuk is our new wide receiver number 1. We got much better on the offensive line with Jonah Williams, much better at cornerback, and we got much better on defense too. So looking a lot better here, a lot better indeed. We got obviously Jalen Hurts, our new quarterback of the future. Goodbye, Allen Bennett. We got a true number 1 wide receiver. We got Chase Claypool as well. He will probably slide over to wide receiver number 2. We still got to get better on this offensive line. Bringing in Jonah Williams was good, yes, but we still got to get better. We can slide Quessenberry probably over to the right side, or maybe even Williams for that matter. And then maybe I'm thinking about making Sexton our starter. Defensively, we are much better. Did not get the man that I wanted to get, which was Nick Bosa, but you know, we got Folo Fadakasi, who doesn't even compare to Bosa, but okay. Defensive tackle, I might need to look to get better at that area. Still looking at defensive end. And then our linebacking core is pretty much set. Maybe we could use one. Our cornerback room is set for now. And this team already looks much better. Let's go ahead and sim to the draft, guys. There's a lot to take in from what just happened in that free agency period, but we did increase to a 77 rated overall team, which is by far, without a shadow of a doubt, the best we've been so far heading into year 3. See what the draft board is looking like. See if we should think about trading up anywhere to grab anybody. Nathan Landry, man, do we go? He's projected to go now to the 49ers right now. Do we slide in here and take this spot away from the Niners? That is the question. We got to get better in offensive line. That much is for sure. Let's give it a shot. I mean, we got to go big or go home here. We don't have that much time to get this thing done and to get us to the promised land here. So let's go ahead and get on the phone with the 49ers. See if wouldn't normally do this, but I mean, that is one of the guys that I really wanted to draft. They don't have any cap room either. So this might actually, we might not even be able to do this if we wanted to, because they're negative in the cap room department. So I doubt this will even let us push this trade through. Yeah, all right, so we're not going to be able to do anything with the 49ers. So we'll just have to go ahead and skip. We do pick 6th, and the Niners take a different tackle, as a matter of fact, Jeremy Spitzer. What about the Saints? Let's get on the phone with the Saints here. Saints, I don't know who they got at quarterback these days. They got a lot of cap room, and their number one need is a quarterback. So this is going to be it right here. If there's any type of trade that's going to go through, I mean, we gotta ship out Alan Bennett. There's no sense in keeping him here. As much as it pains my heart to do that, no, that is not even close. So what else do the Saints need? They need defensive tackle. They need defensive end, which we do not have really any of those players. I don't really want to trade up in this draft. I want to keep our first round pick that we currently have. So maybe if we give them we don't have that much to work with next year either. Maybe next year can just be kind of like a strictly a free agent type of period. What if we give them a 2nd and a 5th from next year? And then we'll just have to reset on our capital. No, that doesn't do it either, but I am willing to bet that if we do give them a first round pick from next year, that might be enough to get it done outright, although I highly doubt it. And it is. Okay, so we will be without a first round pick next year, but that's okay. Next year can be kind of like a ball out in free agency, reset our draft capital type of situation. And we are going to go ahead and make our selection. And I really don't see any reason why it shouldn't be left tackle Nathan Landry out of Virginia Tech. I mean, he is projected to go in the top 5. He's a great blocker. He has good awareness, and he's just a tremendous athlete. I don't see anybody else that would be a better option, to be honest with you. So we'll just go ahead and pick. Nathan Landry is going to be the player that we draft, and he is a hidden development player. 90 strength to go along with 81 acceleration. That is very good. Very good indeed. And I think that was a good move. We got rid of our quarterback, which we didn't need. And now we pick again here in a couple picks. We also have this guy right here, Dante Franklin, who is a true round 1 talent. And yes, we do definitely need to get better on the defensive line. So Dante Franklin is a great jumper, which doesn't really matter. Maybe for swatting balls down at the line if you're playing Baker Mayfield or somebody like that. He has A power moves, A tackle, A awareness, B hit power. Dante Franklin, he's not blowing me away, but we got to get better on the defensive line. And I don't think that anybody else, as far as ends, were really that much better than him. Let's take a look and see. I'm going to go with George Judge here. We are going to go defensive line. He's a 6'2" speed rusher, but also has C power moves. And he was the most agile defensive end in the class. He has elite acceleration. He's good to great or elite and everything else. And George Judge is going to be our 2nd pick in this draft. Hidden development. Look at all those 80s down there. 85 strength to go along with 88 acceleration, 82 speed, and 82 agility. So I am very pleased with that. So we just got better, much better On the offensive line, we don't pick again till round 3, pick 1, and I'm not going to do any type of trading around here. We're just going to simulate to our pick and see who's available. I got 2 very good players, I feel like, in the first round. That's going to instantly make this team even better than we've already become. So who is on the board now? That is the question. Anybody that we feel is worth drafting here in the 3rd round. I mean, nobody really left on my favorites board. I'm never upset with getting better at offensive line depth, and we have a very good guard here in Terrell Wilkins, who is also the most agile guard in this class, at least right guard that is. He's got elite acceleration, elite change of direction, elite agility, great acceleration. Terrell Wilkins projected to go round 3 to 4. He's a good run blocker, good pass blocker, and I see no reason not to draft him because offensive linemen are hard to come by. And there we go, another hidden development player. So he is very strong. He's got great acceleration, and so far we are 3 for 3 in hidden development. Round 4, we're going receiver, Justin Byers. He's 6'5", so good size, physical archetype player. He's got beat catching. He can run the deep route a little bit. He's a very good jumper, very strong, and we'll just continue to get a little bit better in the receiver room. Normal development, so that was the first time that we have seen that so far. We do need one more linebacker, so we're gonna go linebacker Centavious Hunt. Great name, 22 years old, 6'2", run stopper out of Georgia. He's normal development, but I just wanted to, it was our last pick, I wanted to just maybe get one more linebacker because we did need to add one more to kind of fill out our roster there. And let's see how we did, guys. We're entering into year 3 of this rebuild so far. Haven't made the playoffs yet. Did anybody else on our team retire? I was curious why that popped up. Let's see. Nope, nobody else retired. So let's do a draft recap. Let's see how we did. I feel good about it. So Nathan Landry, 77 rated overall, could be one of the highest players in the draft. We made a very aggressive move to get the number 2 pick rather, and pick him. George Judge, the defensive end, is a 74. And Terrell Wilkins, the right guard, is also 70 plus. He's 72. And all 3 of these players are hidden development. Justin Byers is a 69. That's a very nice to see. And Kyle McAllister and Hunt are low 60s. But I didn't really expect too much from those players. It was mainly those first 3 picks. So I do see 78 rated. So Angelo Buchanan, who was mocked to us, the cornerback, he was actually the highest, tied for the highest player in the class. But Nathan Landry was 3rd, so that's pretty good. George Boston, I had him favorited. I talked about him a little earlier. He was also very good as well. But overall, that's another pretty good draft, I would say. We are most definitely getting better. CJ Smalls, I am broke. I have negative $22.8 million. I hope that doesn't hinder anything here. I don't think it will, but hey, we're close to an 80 rated overall, guys. This is our first chance to possibly taste a playoff berth. And let's look at our roster here before we sim to mid-season mark and just see what we're looking like. So the big news story, yes, we got Jalen Hurts after drafting a quarterback number 1. And I really think that I am going to move, although he probably won't stay because Madden always wants to adjust my depth chart. I think I'm going to move Sexton to the starting tight end role simply for the fact that he is superstar development, and Mike Gesicki did not really play that well last year. Offensive line looking much better. We have Jonah Williams now as our highest rated lineman. We do still have Green that we drafted last year. Zach Tom is here as well. So we got some good depth. We do got some good depth. Boss is a boss. Darren Boss, he is a star development player. And we got 2 hidden devs on the line. Receiver class looks much better. We got Brandon Ayuk. We got Chase Claypool. I think actually Claypool I might want to move him over to the other number 1 starting receiver just because, again, he is star development. And I think that that's going to be better in the long run. So our draft pick from last year, Marquis Ballard, is now star development. Linebackers, we're okay. We got Rashawn Gary, we got Chris Barnes, we got CJ Mosley. George Judge is now a hidden development starting right end, still not too great as far as defensive tackles go. We got Folo Fadakasi, and then we got 2 star development corners, and still got Bryce Callahan. So the team does look much better. Yes. Is it enough to do a playoff push? I don't know. We might have to make some moves this season when it comes to trades and free agents, but I don't know. I'll sim ahead to the midseason mark, and I will see you guys there. So we're 3-4 here at the midseason mark. Not quite what I expected, although again, this NFC North is just so terrible that we are still second place in the division. And how about that? We're taking on the Chicago Bears and Nick Bosa, whom we tried to get in free agency, and the Chicago Bears stepped in and swept him from up under our feet. So we got a breakout linebacker scenario. Let's see who this could be. Chris Garrett. Okay, he is playing opposite side of Rashawn Gary, and to have him move up to star development would be pretty big. He needs to get 1 interception, forced fumble, tackle for loss, or sack in order to do that. Let's see how our players are performing so far with the addition of Jalen Hurts. Doesn't look like he's having too great of a season so far. I am rocking with Tampa Bay's playbook here. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it. He has 1,800 yards, though, and 11 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So maybe he is doing good. Let's see where he stands amongst the rest of the league. Okay. I mean, he's actually kind of close to the top, and his touchdown to interception ratio is pretty good. So I guess Jalen Hurts is playing, decent. After all, I'm not too upset with that. Let's see what the rest of the squad is doing here as far as rushing. We'll check up on our old buddy Elijah Mitchell. Looks like he has 5 touchdowns on the season, 500 rushing yards so far. So let's see where that is at. As far as the rest of the NFL, not really up there too much. But if you remember, Elijah Mitchell came alive, I think, in the second half of the season last year and ended up being a 1,000-yard rusher for us. So there's still plenty of time. Receiving wise, Brandon Ayuk is leading the way with over 500. Then we got Chase Claypool. We got Paris Campbell. Tyler Sexton, our superstar development tight end, not really doing too much, I wouldn't say. Brandon Ayuk is playing pretty good. We'll see how that looks compared to the rest of the receivers. I mean, he's kind of up there, I guess. Not really, nothing that's going to really knock your socks off or blow you away, unfortunately. We'll take a look at the defense here and see how our defense is faring so far. Gotten a lot of pressure, that's for sure. Rashawn Gary, 8.5 sacks. That's really good. And then George Judge, our rookie that we drafted, he has some upgrades too, so we'll go ahead and take care of that, I guess. We'll go ahead and do Speed Rusher. That will get him up to a 75 rated. True talent here. And do you guys see what I see? An ability slot. So George Judge is superstar X Factor. What? We drafted a superstar X Factor. We got him in the first round. He was our second pick in the first round, and he ends up being superstar X Factor. So how huge is that? Wow. Anybody else looking different here? So, all right. Okay. So, Nathan Landry, the left tackle that we drafted, is a superstar. So how about that, man? I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back here because the draft has been pretty crazy. Now, we can't really equip anything on him yet, unfortunately, but we will be able to eventually. And the fact that we got a superstar player and an X Factor player in the same draft class is pretty big. We also got some big names that we're going to have to give new contracts to, namely Elijah Mitchell, but also Adrian Amos, Levi Wallace, who we just signed, CJ Mosley, who we just signed, Folo Fadakasi's in there, some pretty big names. And I don't want to wait till the very end because at that point it'll be a one-shot deal. If we don't get him, we don't get him. But Elijah Mitchell he's been so far anyways, I know we're only in the 3rd year, but he's been a true number 1 overall halfback, and he's still developing. He's still young. So he's looking for a 5-year, $26 million deal, and he does have interest in being here as well. So we should be able to offer him that, and this is a perfect offer. I can't wait till next year. Elijah, we can't wait either. We are happy to have you back, my friend. And we'll also try to re-sign. You notice now, these players actually have interest in being here. Quite the difference from the first and second year, right? Adrian Amos, yes, we're going to bring him back. Now, he is a little bit older. He's looking for 3 years, and I might only want to give him 2 because, he's going to start regressing pretty soon. So if we do 2 years, $20 million, he will take that. So, you know, we were able to bring back 2 of our key guys. But yeah, guys, I mean, hey, we are making strides, making small steps here. We drafted extremely well. We signed a couple of our key guys. We got to take on Nick Bosa now and the Chicago Bears, who I hate even more than I did prior. And hopefully we can get this thing done. We are elite. You know, we're 3rd place in the division. We're fighting for that #1 spot. A win here against the Bears would be huge. Can we do it? I don't know, but we're moving and grooving. We're moving right along here. Keep your fingers crossed, you know, bring some positive vibes our way. I'm going to go ahead and simulate till the end of the season, and I will catch you guys there. Stopping here in week 10 briefly because I just realized I did not sign any free agents yet, and there actually is a couple positions that I want to try to slightly upgrade. There wasn't really any moves that I wanted to make as far as the trade block goes, but I would like to sign my 2 free agents that I can. And the first thing I'm gonna do is we got Fulleranzo Fadakasi playing alongside our X Factor Judge, and he's okay, but I think we can do a little bit better. And I am actually going to bring in Calais Campbell. He's 16 years in the league, but he is a 77 rated overall player. And I think if nothing else, for this year alone, maybe he can help us get over the hump. We're kind of falling mid-season here now, and the second one I want to do, not the sexiest of moves, but I do want to bring in a punter. I just realized I always forget about those 2 positions. But the punter we have is terrible. I don't even know his name. I cannot remember. So we're going to bring in Tress Way just because he's better than what we got. And I don't know how much having a good punter really factors into simulation, but it's going to be nice to have it just as a backup. So I just wanted to make those 2 moves real quick. Again, nobody I really wanted to trade for, at least nothing that really made too much sense to me. You see now we're 3-6, so we have to go on a run here because now we are 3rd place in the division. Let's get it done. I'll see you guys at the end of the season. So we end up going 6-11. Not really the ideal outcome, although I will say we went from winning 0 games in year 2 to winning 2 games in 0 games in year 1, 2 games in year 2, and now we've won 6 games. So we've pretty much, you know, doubled and a little bit more than doubled our win total this year. So what was the problem? I mean, it was offensive points per game. We were 24th in the league, and we were also 24th in the league in pass yards per game too. We did pretty good rushing the ball, over 100 per game. And our defense, other than defending the rush, I mean, we had the 8th ranked defense in terms of pass yards per game, and we also had the 16th rated overall defense. So I mean, it wasn't definitely not good, I will say, but I mean, it's something. We got something to work with here. 25th ranked total offense in terms of yards, and 13th ranked total defense in terms of yards. So I mean, I guess offense is something that we're gonna have to focus on a bit more heavily. Let's see how we did here. So Jalen Hurts, 4,300 yards, 26 touchdowns to only 9 picks. So that is a pretty solid season. There's nothing wrong with that. We had some other guys who balled out in the league and went over 5,000. Joe Cool led the way, Trevor Lawrence, Teddy Bridgewater with the Washington Commanders. Okay, Lamar Jackson, who we tried to get in the past free agent period, looks like he went to Seattle, had a great season. Hopefully Elijah Mitchell, we averaged over 100 yards per game. He did go over 1,000 yards again. So Elijah Mitchell is having good second halves. He found the end zone 13 times as well. Let's see how that stacks up against the rest of the league. I mean, we got some of the big guns up here, like Jonathan Taylor, almost 1,800, Najee Harris, Ezekiel Elliott still doing his thing. And touchdowns, you know, we got players that were over 20. So not really, I mean, it's okay. You know, I'll take a 1,000 yard rusher every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. And as I record this, today just happens to be Sunday. Fun fact.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Brandon Ayuk had a great season, 1,300 receiving yards, found pay dirt 11 times. Chase Claypool was close up there as well. Paris Campbell did pretty well. And Tyler Sexton did okay. Still looking for him to have that breakout season with him being a superstar development player and all. As far as sacks, our rookie Daniel Green gave up a lot. Doesn't look like we gave up too many sacks, so I guess that's good to see. Defensively, Chris Barnes led the way. CJ Mosley was not far behind. Tackles for loss, Rashawn Gary was just living in the backfield. And then George Judge, he was the judge, the jury, and the executioner. 15 tackles for loss. Bolo Fadikasi was in there. Josh Street, who hasn't really developed too well so far, had a big season as well. Rashawn Gary with 14.5, and then George Judge as a rookie. Gotta figure he'll probably get Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't see how he couldn't. Interceptions, we did pretty well. We had a lot of players. There's Marquise Ballard, now our second-year player. He has upgraded to star. And I also should note as well, I switched the defensive scheme to a 4-3, and I said I wasn't going to do that, but as I looked at it a little bit more deeply, it just made sense to me, and I'll kind of show you why I did that and why I felt it was a good idea. So we signed Calais Campbell just a few moments ago, and I actually moved him to defensive tackle. Now, he may retire any year now, so I'm not banking that he will stay, but I got him and Josh Street as the defensive tackles. I did move Rashawn Gary from linebacker to defensive end, so I feel like this is a great pass rush up front, a very good front four. We got Judge, who's the X Factor, Rashawn Gary, who's a superstar. We got Calais Campbell and Josh Street. And then I slid CJ Mosley over to a left linebacker. We got Chris Barnes there, and we're going to have to upgrade on the right linebacker, that's for sure. George Judge, superstar X Factor, does win Defensive Rookie of the Year. That is great to see. Jalen Hurts, we need him to step up and have a Jalen Hurts type of season next year, because he played okay, but we're going to need better than okay if we want to get it done. And I feel like we're definitely going to have to win in free agency, because if you recall, this draft is going to be kind of a wash. We don't have a first round pick. We don't have a third round pick. We got a second round pick. I was skimming through the draft here, and it does look to be a pretty good draft class for linebackers, which we could use one to play opposite side of CJ Mosley. We'll give an upgrade to our superstar development tackle, Nathan Landry. He gets a couple upgrades here to his pass blocking, which is always good. And George Judge, he has 2 upgrades, so we'll go ahead and go speed rusher. He didn't like it last time when I did power rusher. It made his morale go down, even though, but now that we're in a 4-3, I might add he's a scheme fit. He was not a scheme fit before, but he is a scheme fit now. So we will just dump all the upgrade points. I just love seeing that X Factor symbol, man. Elijah Mitchell, we're going to continue to go elusive back. He has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, so I see no reason. We just gave him a fat contract. Mike Gesicki is kind of like the wild card here now. So we have Tyler Sexton starting because he is superstar development, but Mike Gesicki is still here. He's still sitting on the bench. He's not really getting too much playing time, but it is nice to know that we have 2 very good tight ends, and I guess Gesicki could be somebody that we trade if we really have our eyes on a great player, or we need to move up very high in the draft to get somebody we got our eyes on. Was Mosley a star before? No, Mosley was normal, I want to say. He is now star, and Rashawn Gary moves up to X Factor. How about that? That is very huge. He was only a star before. Maybe moving to that scheme really helped him. We do got some contracts to square up here as well, and we got a couple of the big ones out of the way, but we still got some decent ones to take care of. So CJ Mosley, we just saw him at star. Why is he showing as normal now? I hate that. Madden is so weird. I swear if anybody else lost their dev trait, they just got it upgraded and haven't even played a freaking game yet. So why is Madden taking it away? I hate that. Very unfortunate. Did anybody else lose their dev? Okay, Landry didn't. Sexton didn't. That's good. Although they do got Mike Gesicki starting ahead of Sexton. So I'm not really sure. Maybe we just make Mike Gesicki a receiver. Chase Claypool lost his, I see. Doesn't make any sense, man. All these players that just got him. What is going on here? Chris Barnes had superstar. He's got nothing now. CJ Mosley's got nothing. At least Rashawn Gary retained his. Our corners still got stars. So now that gives us a little bit something more to think about, I guess. That is so frustrating. That is so frustrating. All right, we'll start with Levi Wallace. He has no interest in being here. Guess what, Levi? I don't care. you are going to be here. We're going to bring you in on a 2-year, $13 million deal, and you're not interested in signing, you might get franchise tagged. I got to be honest with you. CJ Mosley does have interest in being here, so that is good to see. We will bring him in. Only once a 1-year deal. 1 year, $3 million should get him back, and it does. Tress Way, we got to bring him back. We just signed him. Maybe there's a better punter though, so I don't know. I'm not really too worried about the punting situation. Folo Fadakasi, yes, we want to bring him back, just if nothing else, to retain a little bit of depth. And we're gonna have to overpay for him because he doesn't want to be here. So we'll go 1 year, 8.5.
Fuck!
And he also wants to test free agency. So now players are leaving. Okay, just when things were starting to get good. Zach Tom, will bring him back. He's not starting anymore, but we need to have some depth. He has a lot of interest in being here, so we should be able to get him on a 2-year, $9 million contract. And now he wants to play for a new team.
No! God, please, no! No!
Everybody's leaving us right at the pinnacle of when we're about to get good. Javelin Guidry, shout out to the Austin Armadillos, Cupcake Relocation Franchise. He's on that team as well. We're going to need him in for depth. So 2 years, $6 million. We got him. At least that's good. Everybody's trying to leave now. We may franchise tag Levi Wallace. It would cost us $24.2 million. So no, we're not going to do that. Everybody else is going to have to walk. I'm not franchise tagging somebody who is 81 rated overall star development. So that drastically changes things. Now we have to reconsider our approach for free agency and also the draft too. Some unfortunate things just happened there 1 week before free agency, but that's what you got to do. You got to shake it off. You got to keep going. Did anybody else retire? I know Calais Campbell did. He did good for us the 1 year, the half of a season that he was with us. Calais Campbell retires. David Quessenberry retires. Okay, so defensively, this is where it gets interesting. So we have to get a defensive tackle. We have to get a linebacker, whether it's on the rush side or middle linebacker. And we have to get a cornerback as well. Those are musts. So defense is going to be what we have to focus on in free agency. Let's see who's available here. You guys know the rules. I don't need to repeat them back to you. And we do have a 97 rated overall superstar cornerback in Patrick Surtain. He has not a sliver of interest in playing with Green Bay. What's it gonna take to get Patrick Surtain? I mean, we're gonna have to pay out the wazoo to get him, but that's what you gotta do sometimes. So we might have to just give PS2 a 5-year, $130 million contract. And even with that, he still has more interest in playing for other teams. We also need a linebacker, and look who is here, Hassan Reddick, but also Logan Wilson. And Logan Wilson has more interest in being with us. So I think that we probably should do the smart thing. They're both star development players. He is an 85 rated overall. Hassan Reddick is higher, but he has less interest. So Logan Wilson would probably be the safer option. He is looking for a 2-year, $27.8 million deal. He's 29, so a 2-year deal fits the mold perfectly. And we're going to drop the bonus a little bit because I feel like we could probably get him in here on a 2-year, $29 million deal, assuming that we just up the salary. Got to get a good defensive tackle as well. And Eric Armstead is here in town. He's a star development, has a lot of interest in being here. And I think that would make a whole lot of sense to bring him in. So we should be able to get him in like a 1-year, $9.5 million deal. And hopefully that would be good. So right now, this is what we're targeting here. We're targeting Patrick Surtain. We're in the lead, but not by much. And Logan Wilson, 2 other teams are in ahead of us. So I think that we're going to have to restructure the contract with Logan Wilson. I really do. Because I really want to get him. We need linebacker bad, and we need that's one of the highest positions of need for us. So if we up his contract to say like a 2-year, $31 million deal, maybe that will put us in first place for him. I sure hope so. And it does. Okay, so that's good. We got to also go after wide receiver too. So who is here? DJ Chark. He would just make the cut. We could sign him as one of our 70 rated overall players because he is 79 and he's on the very high end of 70, but he has a lot of interest in being here. So we can probably drop him down to like say I don't know, a 3-year, $14 million deal. And as long as nobody else is targeting DJ Chark, right now it's just us. So that is good to see. We need to probably get another wide receiver. Adam Thielen's here, but he's 35. Robbie Anderson is here, but he's weird. Allen Robinson is here, and he used to play for the Bears. So who do we bring in? I think we really should be smart here and bring in 2 wide receivers. Maybe we do Thielen for a year. I mean, you know, he used to play for the Vikings, which is my arch nemesis team, but he's here. He wants to be here. We can probably bring him in on a 1-year, $5 million contract. Will we get all these guys? I sure don't know. Patrick Surtain is shuffling around. Logan Wilson is shuffling around. That makes me very nervous. Eric Armstead is shuffling around too. I mean, we paid these guys a ton of money. Part of me wants to try to restructure their deals, but I just don't know. I just don't know if that is a good move or not. So with the click of a button, we're going to do an eval period here. God, I just hope that some of these players sign. We got Eric Armstead. That's good. And we also got Adam Thielen. So we did not get Patrick Surtain. He went to the Commanders, who were just in the Super Bowl. Logan Wilson's still thinking about it, though. So we can probably restructure our deal with him because we got to get him. So let's actually do that first and foremost. Let's restructure our contract offer for Logan Wilson. I don't care how much I got to pay to bring this fella here to Titletown. We're going to do it. If we got to go $9 million on the salary and $8 million on the bonus and give him 3 years, then so be it.
Show me the money!
If that's what it takes to bring Logan Wilson in town, we're going to have to bite the bullet and do it. And that does put us well in the lead. So seeing as how we did not sign a 90 rated overall player, I said earlier, if you were watching at the beginning of this video, we can sign 2 80s to make up for that. So that kind of changes things a bit. Let's see who's here as far as our 80 rated overall players go. Looks like not really too many people. Most of them already got scooped up. Byron Jones is here, and he will probably be the move, at least for one of them, because we did not get Patrick Surtain. He's a star development corner. He has no interest in being here, but we're going to make you. We're going to make you be here against your will, Byron, if that is what it takes. If we got to bring you in on a 2-year, $16 million deal in order to get that done, then okay. I think that we go for Mike Hilton. Yes, we need to get stronger in cornerback, so we're going to go for Mike Hilton. He does want to be here, so that's good. So we should be able to get him in on a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. Now, we have one more spot left that we can look to upgrade in. Do we just get a fullback? I mean, I feel like we do, because right now we got a sorry 3rd string running back playing fullback. Not really a position that you really think about too much, but I don't know what it does to impact simulation. So I just feel safer having one. If we have one and it doesn't do anything, then so be it. But I'd rather have one than not have one. Maybe it'll make us a little bit better. I don't know. I don't think we got Logan Wilson. That's heartbreaking. Eric Armstead is here. Mike Hilton is here. Adam Thielen is here. Reggie Gilliam is here. DJ Chark is still thinking about it. And somebody else freaking signed Logan Wilson. Wow. What are the chances of that? This free agency period, he went to the Falcons. Why? You had the most interest in being with us. Why would you go with the Falcons, Logan? What are you doing, brother? So I don't even know who we can bring in now with our 80s. I mean, we can technically sign 2 more because we didn't get a 90. But is there even anybody that we want to sign, that we should sign? We don't need a halfback. We don't need safeties, kickers, whatever. I mean, I guess we could bring in a kicker. Evan McPherson, sure. He's a superstar development kicker. Why the hell not? I guess having a superstar development kicker would be nice, and he won't be too costly. I just hate wasting one of my 80s on a kicker, man. That is just heartbreaking. Chat Griffin, we do need a cornerback because We did not get Patrick Surtain, and we did not get Byron Jones. So he's only looking for a 1-year deal. He doesn't want to be here, so we're going to have to make it a little bit more enticing for him. We'll give him 1 year, $8 million. And if he doesn't take that, then I just give up on life. We do need a right and middle linebacker as well. I realize one thing that we haven't really gotten so far is wide receiver, which I probably should be looking to target that more heavily than I am. Baron Browning from Ohio State. He has pretty good interest in being here. He's looking for a 2-year, $9.16 million contract. We'll give him 3 years, $15 million. He should take that. And I probably should ought to try to get another wide receiver, seeing as how DJ Chark is not locked up yet. I really hope that we get him. But who else is here that would make sense? Robbie Anderson, no. Just for the simple fact that you are Robbie Anderson. Is there anybody that's a star? Show me a star development. Is there any star development players here? There is really not. I mean, I guess Tim Patrick wouldn't be the worst choice in the world. He is 31, so getting a little bit older. He has no interest in being here, but I don't think that really any other teams have any interest in him too much. So we'll go 2 years, $11 million. This free agent period has been tough, man. It's been like pulling teeth out here. I got to be honest. If we get all these guys, I would consider that a pretty big W. So let's see. We got Eric Armstead. We got Shaq Griffin. We got Mike Hilton. We got DJ Chark. We got Adam Thielen. Does this take care of all the players that we can sign? We were supposed to get, you know what? I think it does, because we were supposed to get 4 70s, and it looks like we actually got 5. We were supposed to get 4 80s, seeing as how we didn't get 90. DJ Chark's a 79, so I will just count him as my other 80. So that does take care of all the other players. Where the heck did Evan McPherson go? I didn't even see. We had the most interest. He went to the Patriots. This free agent class is busted, man. Y'all are some straight busters. So my big one here is right outside linebacker Jermaine Nails. He's somebody that I will have to get in this draft. Absolutely. We know how bad we need linebackers. He's a run stopper. So, and he looks to be a pretty solid athlete. I mean, nothing that's going to blow you away, but his core skills just look really good. A, tackling, B, zone coverage, A, play recognition. He will fit into our 4-3 scheme pretty nicely, having those good coverage skills, which is what he is. I mean, he's not a rusher. He's a run stopper, but I would even say he's more of a pass coverage type of archetype. Also, Israel Lowry here, wide receiver. He's somebody that looked to be pretty good. He's a deep threat, but he is very fast. He's got elite speed, which I love. He's also very agile too. And his skills, I mean, he's a burner. He's got B, deep route, A, spectacular catch. He's just going to be a guy that goes up and gets open and wins on those deep routes, kind of like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling type of guy. Also, I saw Tony Gordon here. He looked pretty good. He was a pretty decent option at wide receiver. He's got A, deep route running, also elite speed, and he is the fastest. He is the fastest in the class. So Tony Gordon probably would be the one that I went after. He's got C, catching, which is better than the other guy. He's got A, deep route running, and so I think Tony Gordon would probably be one that we look at. And then some other players down here as well that we don't really necessarily need to use as a focus player. Last one here is wide receiver Demario Whiteside. So we'll check him out. He's a deep threat as well, but he is not as fast. So I think that he would kind of be the odd man out here. So we're going to go ahead and do Jermaine Nails. We'll do Tony Gordon, and we will do Israel Lowry. I'll be honest with you, wide receiver and linebacker is pretty much the only thing that I'm really going to be looking at in this draft. And I feel like we got to win on both of them, even if that means trying to move up in the first or maybe even another one in the second round. And Jermaine Nails is mocked to go 22nd to the Dolphins. So that is something that we are going to have to make note of here. I think now that we are going to have to move up, because I think that he's going to be our guy, honestly, and he would fit in perfectly. So let's go ahead and start the draft here. We're going to slow it down at first. Once we get closer to that 22nd pick of the Dolphins, we will possibly get on the phone with somebody. Lions got the number 1 overall pick, and they pick Floyd Stokes, quarterback out of Iowa State. So I guess no more Jared Goff. Rams go quarterback as well. There was a lot of quarterbacks in this class. Luckily, we don't need that now. We got X Factor Jalen Hurts. All right, so we're here at pick 18, Tennessee, and I think that we are going to get on the good old horn with them right now because I'm just not confident that Nails is going to be on the board. You got to be careful with those Nails being on the board, man. I'll tell you.
Stop it. Get some help.
Maybe do we trade Mike Gesicki? I mean, that could actually be a move. That could be a move. We could always bring in a tight end in free agency, and that might actually be the move. They do have very good interest in Mike Gesicki, much as I hate to do it, and we can probably part with, I'll be honest with you, other than the wide receiver and the linebacker, there's not really too much more that I really feel like I need to do in this draft. I know I said earlier this draft would kind of be a wash. So Mike Gesicki in a 4th rounder, we're going to have to give up something from next year as well. Yes, we do. Do you want Tyler Bray? I mean, hell, you can have Tyler Bray. I know this isn't going to get it done, but I'm just curious to see what it would do. No, doesn't do a gosh dang thing. So we'll remove. You could have him though. I would not be upset if you took Tyler Bray. So we say bon voyage to Mike Gesicki. Poor Mike, he was in a tough spot. We got him, and then we immediately got a superstar development tight end to replace him. But no questions asked, we are going to pick our guy Nails. He is going to be our 1st round pick. I think that he will be very good. He's a run stopper archetype out of Iowa State. Welcome aboard, hidden development, so instantly going to make our linebacking core much better. All right, so I'm officially in panic mode. Demario Whiteside goes. We cannot trade up into the 1st round, but maybe we can move up 7 spots with the Lions. As long as, no, there's Tony Gordon. He is off the board. All right, so now I'm officially freaking out here. Junior Dixon. All right, we got to get on the board here. We got to get on the phone with the Lions because we have to get that other receiver, Ishmael was his name, I believe. Yeah, we got to get, or Israel. I said Ishmael. Wow. Okay, I mean, I was close. We have to get Israel Lowry, so we should be able to move up 7 spots here with the Lions. Even if I got to give up, most of the rest of my draft picks, I'm okay with that because these are the 2 positions that we got to fill. And I feel like we're just okay in everything else. We're solid. So this will make me a very happy boy indeed. So let's call up the Lions here, see what's going on down in Motor City. Yes, we want your pick, and in exchange you will get our 2nd round pick, which is not too far down, and maybe our 7th and our 6th. I don't really care about those picks. Do you want those? Will you take those in order to move up? You will. Okay, very good. So we will have one more pick after this. It'll be a 5th rounder, and I may even just trade it if there's a good offer on the table. I knew this draft was going to be kind of a wash, but I think that we got 2 really solid players. Assuming that Ishmael, which is what I'm going to call him for the rest of this video, he is officially Ishmael. Assuming that he is good. But is he good? That's the question. Are the Madden servers going to load? That is another question. All right, so Ishmael, even though your name's Israel, you're a deep threat, you're a burner, but you have hidden development. Look at that, 87 acceleration combined with 96 speed. Wow. Yeah, I would say that that is a good pick. Now, I'm very happy with that. So I'll go ahead and sim to the 5th round. We'll see what we got going on, and I may just trade that pick. So we're going to go ahead and make a move with Arizona here. They will be willing to give us a 4th round next year in the 2026 draft, and I'm cool with that. Look, I know it wasn't the most exciting, draft of all time, but I'm still happy with it. I am still happy with it. We have no more picks, so we can just go ahead and sim to the end and see how we did with these 2 players that we got in the draft. Yes, we drafted a total of 2 players, but are they slam dunks? Are they going to be instant fame or instant flop? All right, I mean, respectable, nothing crazy, but 274s. Not mad at that at all. They're going to be good additions. And wow, Floyd Stokes, an 82 rated overall quarterback. He may be a generational talent, as a matter of fact. I'm actually very curious, so I want to check that. If he's superstar X Factor, he may very well be generational. Let's see if he is. He is superstar X Factor. Wow. So the Lions just made a big splash. They are going to have their franchise quarterback of the future. Now, we are going to have to bring in probably a couple positions in free agency. Definitely a tight end. And you know what? Tight end, we might look to trade, but I'll tell you what I am going to do. First and foremost, I am going to sign Younghoe Koo. He is going to be our kicker since Evan McPherson decided he wanted to go play with Bill Belichick. And I am also going to bring in former Seahawks legend, Super Bowl winning player with the Rams, Bobby Wagner, to be our middle linebacker. He is old, I realize that, but he is still good. He is a respectable 80 overall. And I know we're doing all this in free agency, but we are in win now mode. Yeah, you know, I think that tight end, definitely. We'll go ahead and try to make a splash there, and that might be good. I may not really need to go too much more deeply here. They're looking for defensive linemen, centers, and offensive linemen. Defensive linemen and offensive linemen is what the Cardinals need. I don't know if we have anything that we can give you, Arizona, but we can certainly check and see. So we do have some of these guys that I don't even know. So sure, you need a left tackle. I got a left tackle. You need a guard. I don't got one of those for you. You need a center. I don't got one of those for you. You need a defensive lineman. Do you want Dean Lowry? Can I give you Dean Lowry? We got tons of defensive tackles. How about I give you this guy, whoever he might be? We got 6 defensive tackles. We don't need those. These are just players that the CPU signs automatically when you don't have enough depth. So how about I give you everything you want and more, Arizona? Bunch of crappy players that fill your position. That didn't do anything. Oh my God, wow. I don't want to give up too much for this year. I don't want to have another draft where we got no players. Do you want a third from next year? Is that going to be good to get Trey McBride? Yes, it will. Okay, so Trey McBride, and we got rid of 2 no-name players. That will instantly make us better. And yeah, okay, we're going into season 4 here. Let's take a look at our lineup and see what we got going on, and then I will go ahead and simulate some mid-season. So we're looking much better here. We still need a third tight end, but I guess Reggie Gilliam can play it, whatever, or they can bring in a linebacker, I guess, if they, or a offensive lineman if they really need to. Receiver, I'm still not happy with it, but I don't think that anybody in the trade block is really anything much more spectacular. If we had a bomb wide receiver, man, we would be it. But we just unfortunately don't. But I mean, we look respectable on offense. In defense, we did get much better. So we do have our rookie Nails, which I feel like he should probably play. He should play instead of CJ Mosley. So we're going to go ahead and turn him into a left linebacker. I want to get him as much snaps as possible, and I really want to get that dev trait revealed instantly. Also, that receiver, I got to go back and look at that receiver. He wasn't really showing up in there. You are going to be a left linebacker, and we are going to start you ahead of CJ Mosley because we want you to develop. So, of course, defensive line, front 4, pretty respectable, very respectable, I would say. Cornerbacks are good. Safeties have always been good. And we got some nice veterans there. Where is that wide receiver? He's not even here. So that is definitely not accurate. So maybe Tim Patrick, you're probably, brother. Yeah, he's not even on the depth chart. So we're going to have to go into the depth chart to add him in. He's got to be in here. He's also hidden development as well. You are going to start ahead of Chase Claypool, just so you can get some snaps maybe. Yeah, you probably won't actually, but we got to trade some of these receivers, man. We got Tim Patrick. We got a bunch of mid-level players. I'll probably trade those guys away for some picks or maybe a good player if I see one. But all right, guys, that was a lot to take in. I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the mid-season mark. Hopefully we're good because we're running out of time. We're in year 4 now, so only 2 more to go. I'm going to sim to mid-season, and I will catch you guys then. So here in week 8, we are 4-3, so I believe this is the first time that we have been over 500 at the mid-season mark. I think last year we were 3-4, and we are second place in the division, right behind the Minnesota Vikings. So each year we have been improving. We're here in year 4, and now obviously still yet to make the playoffs. And if you're wondering why you see Matt LaFleur at the top right corner of your screen and all these head coach thingies here on the side, when I started this video, when I started this franchise, I picked owner, which I normally wouldn't do in this situation, but I thought it was cool to go along with the storyline. You know, me being the new owner, I wanted it to say CJ Smalls up there, and for whatever reason, I did not pick Financial Mogul. I picked former player, and I started with much less money. So I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but last season we started getting into the negative in total money, not cap space. Our cap space is fine, but money as far as my money. And I got the probation message, which I've never seen before in Madden 23 last offseason, saying that if I did not get my funds to positive, then I would be relieved of my duties here in Green Bay. And that is not supposed to happen yet. So again, our cap space is fine. Everything's okay with that. I've been watching that, managing that. So I just was reading up on that, and last thing I want is to be forced kicked out of this franchise before we hit season 5. So I just went ahead and changed roles to head coach, and hopefully that will be enough to kind of relinquish that. I don't know, Madden's weird. I don't see any reason why I should be in the negative money, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on, you know, what I'm doing as far as our players and our signings. So I just went ahead and switched, and now you get to see Matt LaFleur's mug up there instead of the Shadow Man that says CJ Smalls. Also, in keeping with the theme of me being an idiot, because yes, I fully admit I am, I also made my second trade in the preseason, and I forgot to record that. So I got rid of 2 of our wide receivers because we are pretty deep at wide receiver now. I traded Tim Patrick, which I realized I just signed him in free agency, but I traded Tim Patrick and Jamal Agnew because I realized we did not have a backup running back. So I went ahead and brought in Hassan Haskins here. You know, that way we have somebody to get to sit behind Elijah Mitchell. And I also brought in, this is from the Titans, by the way, I also brought in Chig Okonkwo to have a true third string tight end. So nothing crazy, but just kind of filling out some depth that we needed to fill out. So we are 4-3 here, right in the hunt to lead the NFC North. Looks like we are 13th in the league in offensive points per game, but we are number 1 in pass yards per game. So that must mean that Jalen Hurts is balling out. Not doing too good in the run, though. We're 25th rated in the rushing yards department. Number 8th defense in terms of points per game. I like to see that. And you see we have the total number 2 ranked offense and the total number 19th ranked defense. So what does that mean? What are our players doing here? I mean, I see already that Jalen Hurts is leading the league in passing yards. So that is great to see. He's at 2,250. He's got 13 touchdowns already and only thrown 5 interceptions. So Jalen Hurts is doing his thing, doing his best to carry this team to the promised land. Elijah Mitchell has 324 yards, so nothing crazy, but he has found the end zone 7 times, so I do like to see that. As far as receivers, actually Paris Campbell is leading us in yards. I figured for sure it would be Brandon Ayuk, but our superstar development tight end Tyler Sexton looks like he's finally having himself a year at 455 yards so far on the season. He is tied with veteran Adam Thielen. So it looks like the ball is being dispersed around pretty good. Good job from Jalen Hurts. As far as our defense, Bobby Wagner, who we just signed to a 1-year deal, is leading our team in tackles by far. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's leading the entire NFL in tackles at 72, and he is. So Bobby Wagner, I guess he was a good acquisition, and I'm glad we brought him in because we know he can tackle. He's been doing that for years. Tackles for loss for Rashawn Gary, and the judge, jury, and executioner George is up there as well. And also Bobby Wagner and Baron Browning. So a couple players that we brought in having an instant impact. Rashawn Gary leading our team in sacks. Eric Armstead, who we just brought in, is also up there as well. So I do like to see that. And so far, not too many picks. Actually, Bobby Wagner with 2. Tied with Sean Murphy Bunting. Yeah, I mean, it's now or never, guys. This is the time. If we're gonna do this thing, we got to do it now. We only got two more seasons left here. We got this one and next. We're right in the thick of things. Cross your fingers. I'm gonna go ahead and sim to mid-season. Ooh, somebody got a weekly award too. Let me check that out. And it looks like Rashawn Gary, 5 tackles for loss and 4 sacks in the last game. Wow. We're right here, guys. We're in the driver's seat. We're doing the dang thing. I will catch you guys at the end of the season mark, and let's just hope that we are in the playoffs. All right, so quite the second half of the season, I would say, as the Packers finished 13-4, good enough for first place in the NFC North, and that would mean that we only lost 1 game since the midseason mark. So We are taking first time in the playoffs. Clap it up. Yes, every single year we have gotten a little bit better, might I add. And we are taking on the Washington Commanders, and we are at home. So a 13-4 record looks like that was good enough for the third best in the NFL. Wow. The Seahawks had a 15-2 record, so that means that we will be the number 2 seed. So that's why we don't have home field advantage. And taking a look at the bracket here, Seattle is number 1, we're number 2, and New York Giants are 3, Bucks are 4. That's covered by my face cam, and you also can't see that the Vikings, our arch nemesis, still squeaked into the playoffs as the 5th seed. And of course, you got Philly and then the Washington Commanders. And then on the AFC side, Chiefs had the number 1 seed. You got the Patriots, Titans, and Browns, division winners. And then you got the Chargers, Jets, and Steelers for the wild card. So, man, I am so curious how we did this season. We had the number 1 passing offense in the league at 325 yards per game. Thank you, Jalen Hurts. I'm so glad I decided to get rid of Allen, not Robinson, Allen Bennett, the rookie QB that we drafted. And we had the number 1 overall offense as far as points per game, the number 3 total offense. We were 2nd in passing touchdowns. We did not turn the ball over too much, it looks like. Defense was okay. We were number 2 in sacks, and we were number 13 overall in defense. So I got to see what the heck these players did here. Jalen Hurts, I can see already, 1st in the league in passing yards, over 5,500. And he was also 2nd in the league in total touchdowns. So how about that? Jalen, have yourself a season. Could be good enough for MVP season. 44 touchdowns, 11 picks, 5,500 yards. And let's take a look and see what Elijah Mitchell. So he does end his streak of being a 1,000-yard rusher, 717 yards. He finished with, did find the end zone 12 times. So that's pretty good. Receiving, Brandon Ayuk. Wow, when we checked at the mid-season mark, Paris Campbell was the leader in yards, but Brandon Ayuk far surpassed him at almost 1,500, 15 total touchdowns, and we had 3 receivers that were over 1,000 yards. So that is great to see. Tyler Sexton, our superstar rated tight end, almost got there as well. So, you know, that is pretty good to see. I'm not upset with that one iota. Bobby Wagner just had a ton of tackles. Got to see if he led the league. Tackles for loss, the judge, the jury, the executioner. He led our team at 14. Superstar X Factor player. And I also see award winner there. Yes, he was the defensive rookie of the year last year, so that's great. Rashawn Gary was in there. Eric Armstead was in there. And Eric Armstead actually leads our team in sacks. Wow, passing Rashawn Gary. And good to see Josh Street. I was a little bit on the fence about him, but he has really started to develop. Sean Murphy Bunting leads us in picks. Chris Barnes and Bobby Wagner, our middle linebackers, combined for 6. Wow. And CJ Mosley, another linebacker, got one too. So got to check the awards too. I feel like this could be an MVP season for Jalen Hurts. And it is. Okay, so the Packers went from being a 51 rated overall team to having an MVP caliber player. You gotta love to see that. Matt LaFleur, not showing him too much love. He's only 7th ranked for coach of the year, but this team looking very good, I gotta say. And for all of those, you know, if you're thinking in your mind like, well, of course you can sign a 90+ rated overall each free agency period. You can make 2 trades. No, that's not the case, because we seen earlier in the episode those 90+ rated overall players that we tried to acquire, they didn't always sign. So it's not like we just went in free agency, snatched up all the great players. No, we did not. We had to adjust to what happened, and a lot of the drafting was on me. I drafted very well. Got to pat myself on the back a little bit there. But this has been a grind. We are in season 4 now, and it's finally maybe starting to pay off. So with the click of a button, will the Packers go from being the worst team in NFL history to finally winning their first playoff game? I am extremely nervous about this, and we do. Yes, 28-25 victory. How about that? And now we go and take on our arch nemesis, NFC North division rival Minnesota Vikings. Oh, wow. I am shaking in my little space boots. George Judge continues to get upgrades, might I add. This guy's going to be a 99 rated overall player before we even know what happened. Let's look at the team that was able to accomplish this impossible feat, shall we? So we have on our offense, of course, Jalen Hurts is our quarterback. Elijah Mitchell, who we acquired via trade in the first season, and he has developed nicely. He is a 87 now, star development. Brandon Ayuk is now 91. Paris Campbell is 80. Adam Thielen is 82. Chase Claypool's 81. And we still got our rookie Ishmael. That's right. I call him Ishmael. That's not his name. I think it's Isaiah Lowry. His dev trait's not revealed. We got a great tight end. Of course, we traded away Mike Gesicki. Offensive line is great. Even this guy, Daniel Green, who is not, he's only a normal dev. He's still good. But everybody else star. And of course, Nathan Landry is superstar. And defensively, we're looking much better. I really think that moving to a 4-3 was a good idea. We got George Judge and Rashawn Gary, a very formidable right and left end combination. We got Eric Armstead, who led our team in sacks. Josh Street, other defensive tackle, who has developed very well. Corners are very good. Shaq Griffin, Sean Murphy, Bunting, Mike Hilton in there. Marquise Ballard, who we also drafted in the first season. He's developed very nicely. So our safeties, we haven't had to touch them at all so far. We have left our safeties alone since season 1. We got Adrian Amos and Marquise Ballard. And then Bobby Wagner. I don't want CJ Mosley there. Nails, that's right. Jerome Nails, was it? He's star development. So Jermaine Nails, I'm sorry. Jermaine Nails is star development. We just drafted him last year. So I think we're going to jump in for this one. I'm going to do the fast sim. And then if anything crazy happens that requires me to jump in and try to win the game, we will do that. But man, guys, here in year 4, we are 1 win away from the Super Bowl. I can taste that Lombardi Trophy. It tastes like brass or metal or gold or whatever it is. It doesn't taste that good, but it tastes great. It tastes epic. And we have got to go out there and get it. All right, so here we go. We take an early 3-0 lead as Younghoe Koo kicks a field goal. Minnesota Vikings tie it up. So far, it's a low-scoring defensive affair. Packers score a touchdown, so now we're up 10-3. Vikings answer, and now it's 10-10 as we get very close to halftime. Younghoe Koo adds 3, but the Vikings score a touchdown right before halftime. Got to get it together here, boys. We don't want to get eliminated. We're so close. We respond. We go up 19-17. Vikings respond too. 24-17 is your score, and now the Vikings get the ball back. They may just start to pull away here. They do score a touchdown, and 26-31. Hold on a second now. Who has the ball? The Vikings have the ball. We have 2 timeouts at 2nd and 5. I'm jumping in here. Maybe a case of too little too late, but as long as we can stop them, we might get the ball back, and we might have one last shot to throw up some type of prayer or something. No, but that's not going to happen if the running back gashes us like that. And that is going to do it. I do believe a valiant effort. We came so close. They're coming out in kneel formation. Yeah, 31-26 against our arch nemesis Minnesota Vikings. You don't love to see it. No point in calling a timeout here. That is going to do it. Oh, guys, we were so close, but do not fret because we still have 1 year to get this thing done. One final year, or else the city of Green Bay is going to run me out of Titletown. I already got ran out because I had no money. What happened in this game? This was a back-and-forth contest. So quarterback Donnie Myers, okay, he had 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had 261, but only 1 touchdown. That is not like Jalen, I don't think. And why did Hassan Haskins get so many carries? Where was our running back? Hold on a second. Why did Elijah Mitchell only get 1 carry? I am so confused right now. Elijah Mitchell only got 1 carry. Is he fatigued? I don't know. That right there could have been the reason why we didn't win. Adam Thielen had 76 yards. Where is all of our starters? Brandon Ayuk, 3 for 40. Oh, man. I'm blaming that one on fatigue. That's got to be fatigue. That was very weird to look at that stat line, but I mean, look, every single season we have improved. I am not upset with that season at all. We got a ton of upgrades here. We're going to let the CPU take care of that because we have one more off season and we have got to go all out. I'm talking balls to the wall. I'm talking it's now or never. Seahawks against the Steelers. That's a Super Bowl for you. Jalen Hurts does win MVP though, so I'm not upset about that at all. I'm going with the Seahawks because they were 15-2 this year, and I feel like they are the best team in the NFL. Record will tell you that. And the Seahawks do dominate the Steelers 35-17. All right, kind of depressing. I'm going to have to go pause the video and listen to some Fall Out Boy, you know, some Simple Plan, some My Chemical Romance, some Hawthorne Heights, some bands like that. But we're here, guys. We are here. We're 84. We took this team all the way to an 82 rated overall team. And can't be mad at that. Not holding my head high. We got one more year to bring a Lombardi Trophy to Titletown. I think we can do it. And Adam Thielen does retire, so that's unfortunate. Also, CJ Mosley retires as well. So what are we going to have to do here? Our cap room is $104 million. We do got to negotiate some contracts here. And let's just take a look and see what the big ones are. So Shaq Griffin, he turned us down once already. Got to make sure that he doesn't do that again. And if he needs more years, then we'll give him more years. We'll give him 2 years, $16 million. That will bring him back. We just had to throw some more ducats his way. Chris Barnes will probably need him back too. We gotta here's how we're gonna win a Super Bowl. I'll tell you right now. We have to retain our exact same team from last year and make it better. So any of these big name players who are, if they're over 70 rated or above, they're probably coming back. And I will go ahead and take care of this, and I will see if anything crazy happens. I'll stop it, but if not, I'll see you guys in the offseason. All right, so here in offseason free agency period number 1, you guys know the rules. I do not need to go over them again. What should we target in free agency? We got about $62 million in cap space, and we just need to go balls to the wall. Brandon Ayuk upgraded to a superstar development. How about that? We need to go all out, spend all the money we got, because this is the last hurrah. So offense, I mean, receiver, we need to get a couple receivers probably. And then defense, what do we need to do? Linebackers, which has been probably the position of need all season. Sean Murphy Bunting does lose his star development. Also, Jermaine Nails, I think it's Jermaine. What is his name? I keep forgetting. Jermaine Nails. Jermaine Nails just got star dev and he already lost it. Not sure why that would happen. So wide receiver needs to be a big target. And then basically any linebackers. Adrian Amos also now down to start to normal development too. Also, we could use a really big cornerback. So linebackers, receivers, cornerback, and then possibly strong safety. And Deebo Samuel's here. Okay. Deebo Samuel, also Mark Andrews, but we don't really need a tight end as much as I would love to have him. And he does have a lot of interest in being here. I think Deebo has to be the guy. So what does Deebo want? I can tell you what he doesn't want. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay. So we are going to have to overpay him out the wazoo, which I am totally fine with because we have a lot of money to play with here. And this is it, right? It's not going to matter what happens after now. We're not going to play any more seasons after this. So we have to go all out. So we're going to offer Deebo a 4-year, $100 million contract. And somehow the freaking Jets, man, are you kidding me? The Jets are still, he still has more interest in being with the Jets. What the heck did the Jets offer him? Now, if you tell me that Deebo Samuel will not take a 5-year, $137 million contract, I do not know what to tell you. And all these teams are still ahead of us, man. Do we just go after Mark Andrews? I mean, is that the move? Those are the only 90s. We don't need a halfback, although now that I think about it, so we're going to go ahead and offer Darius Slayton a contract. He has a lot of interest in being here, so he should come over on we'll give him a 3-year, $19 million contract. Middle linebacker, Devin Lloyd, superstar X Factor. Don't mind if I do. in the slightest. We have Chris Barnes, right, as our middle linebacker. He's pretty good, but he has regressed down to normal development. So yeah, let's go after Devin Lloyd. We'll give him a 4-year, you know what? We will go $38 million because again, we are going all out here to try to do everything we can. Right now, we are in first place for Devin Lloyd, so that is good to see. Maybe we look to do cornerback Marcus Jones. Okay, he's 27. He's normal development, but he's a 79 rated overall player, which is pretty good. I can live with that. He has moderate interest in being here. So if we give him a 3-year, $14 million contract, I think that will probably get it done. And a lot of what happens here, we look at who we've targeted so far. These are our two 80s, Devin Lloyd, Darius Slayton, and Deebo Samuel, who for whatever reason wants to go play with the Jets. I don't know why. We'll have to wait and see what Samuel does. That's really going to dictate a lot of what happens next here. I mean, why not go for Khalil Mack too? He would be another 70, only looking for a 1-year contract, and he does have a lot of interest in being here, so we'll do 1 year, $6 million. And, you know, Khalil Mack, he's 35, but he is Khalil Mack. And that will take care of the 5 negotiations that we can make. We're looking to get Deebo Samuel, who I don't think we're going to get, unfortunately. Devin Lloyd, Darius Slayton, Marcus Jones, and Khalil Mack. With the click of a button, let's see who is going to be a Green Bay Packer now. We go to my signings. We did get Devin Lloyd, so that is huge. We got a superstar X Factor. That linebacking core has kind of been our weakness this entire video. We did not get Deebo Samuel, which I'm not surprised about. We did get Darius Slayton, though. We got Marcus Jones, and we got Khalil Mack. So where did Deebo go? That's the question. Deebo went to the Jets. He must have really wanted to play with the Jets. And you know what? Since there's only one 91 rated overall player left on the board, it is Dalvin Cook. We have Elijah Mitchell, who is very good, but Dalvin Cook is better. So he would be our 90 rated overall signing that we can do. And you know what? I'm going to try to bring him in. Why not? Tight end Isaiah Likely. This is likely going to be my pick. You see what I did there? I realized that we have great tight ends. We have one at least and a couple good backups, but he is superstar development at only a 78 rated overall. Not quite sure how that happens, but he does have a lot of interest in being here, and we can probably bring him in on a 3-year, $19 million contract. The more dev traits that we have, the better, is what I say. And we will go ahead and bring in a star development left tackle, Trevor Penning. Our offensive line is set, but as far as depth goes, I'm not quite sure how or if that factors into simulation at all, but I can tell you that it will only increase our chances by having depth there. So if we look at who we've targeted so far, if everybody signs, this will round out the free agency period. We're looking at Dalvin Cook. We have the lead there. Trevor Penning, we have the lead there. Isaiah Likely, we do not have the lead there. So maybe if we don't get Likely, I will likely not be upset at that. I'm going to stop here soon. Don't worry. So, all right, we got Dalvin Cook. We got Devin Lloyd. We got, of course, Darius Slayton. And we did not get Likely, but we did get Trevor Penning. And we can still sign one more 70 rated overall player. We will continue to try to improve at our cornerback depth. We will try to acquire veteran James Bradberry. It'd be nice to have a veteran presence in that AI generated locker room that does not exist at all, but maybe he's a mentor or something like that. I didn't even check to see, but if James Bradberry signs, that will round out the free agency period. Looks like we have to go ahead and skip to week 2 because we've already gone through all the eval periods, so we'll go ahead and do that. But this, guys, I'm doing everything I possibly can. This is the team. If there is a team that would ever win the Super Bowl here in Green Bay, this is it. So James Bradberry is still thinking about it. How much time you need to think, man? Nobody else is going after you. And there we go. We got James Bradberry. So that does round out the free agency signing period. I'll go back in here. I'll show you guys who we got. We'll take a look at our team, and then we will go on to the final draft of the video. So we got Dalvin Cook. Maybe a controversial pick, seeing as how we have a great running back who has developed well with Elijah Mitchell, but Dalvin Cook's better. We got Devin Lloyd, so it's finally a superstar X Factor player in that linebacking room. We got Darius Slayton. He will be a great wide receiver to play opposite side Brandon Ayuk. We got better in cornerback by signing Marcus Jones and James Bradbury. We brought in a veteran Khalil Mack, and then we brought in Trevor Penning for depth. So that is what our team is looking like now. We are up to a true 84 in all categories. We are 84 in every single category. Trevor Sexton now up to a superstar X Factor. Okay, he was only a superstar development player, so he did bump up to superstar X Factor, so that is great to see. And then as far as our defense, we got a superstar X Factor here on the defensive line. We got Baron Browning, we got Khalil Mack. Cornerbacks, would like to see more star or something like that there, but it is what it is. And that is the team that we are going to be rocking with for year 5 of the rebuild. We did terrible. This is probably the worst draft that I have ever drafted in the history of drafts. Only player we got that was over 72 rated overall was Julius Jones, but that's all right. I'm not concerned about that. Was there anybody even good in this draft class? Really, there wasn't. I mean, a halfback was the 77 rated overall and a left guard. So it's not like none of the guys that we would have drafted would have been starting over the starters that are starting. Does that make sense? I think it does make sense. So this is it, guys. Year 5 of the rebuild. If we somehow don't win, maybe I'll do a part 2 or something like that, but I really don't want to. And I'm going to go ahead and speak it into existence. Set season goal. Win the freaking Super Bowl. You better believe your britches. We are committing to that goal for the year. And honestly, I don't even know if there's anybody I would look to trade for or sign a free agent, because this team is stellar. I mean, receivers, we're good, really, for the most part. Halfback, we're more than good. We got 2 starting caliber halfbacks. If we were continuing on, I would definitely look to trade Elijah Mitchell. Maybe a left guard, but I highly doubt there's going to be anybody better than Daniel Green. Our tight end's a superstar X Factor. Backup tight ends, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'll take a look at left guard, but I don't think there's anybody else that I would really be too concerned about. Linebacker, I mean, we're normal dev, but I don't think there's anybody else that would be higher than that, especially not in free agency. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing anybody that's better than what we got. I guess we'll look at left guard. I'm good. I think we got our team in place. So I am going to go ahead and simulate to the mid-season mark. This is it, guys. We need a big season here, because this is all she wrote. And if we don't get it now, we're not going to get it. So I will catch you guys at the midseason mark. Keep your fingers crossed. Gotta have a big one. All right, so here in week 8, we are duking it out with the Detroit Lions of all teams to have the #1 team in the NFC North. They are 5-2, have not had their bye week yet. We are 4-2. And if we take a look at the stats here, we got the #1 rush defense. That's the first thing I saw. And we are #2 in points per game at 32, which is great, but only the 21st ranked total offense. That is a little disappointing, but the 2nd ranked overall defense. So what is going on here, guys? We got to check this out. Let's go ahead and look at these upgrades here. We'll just let the CPU handle all that. Not going to go through 20 of those right now. Definitely not. But what's going on here? So is Jalen Hurts, is he having an all-time low season or something? He is not having a great one. That much is for certain. He's 14th in the league in total passing yards, 1,765. He was the MVP last season, and he's got to play like it. Dalvin Cook really not doing too much either. As far as receivers here, we can see that Brandon Ayuk is leading the way at 659, and he is just living in the end zone. Tyler Sexton, now superstar X Factor, is also #2. And aside from them, nobody is really doing too much. What's up with Ishmael? Is his dev trait? He's only a star. He's not really doing anything, but I gotta say I'm kinda disappointed with the play of Jalen Hurts so far. Gotta be honest with you. I mean, record-wise, we're looking pretty good. But stat-wise, I feel like Jalen Hurts, he's got to get it together and he's got to step up, because if he doesn't, I'm not confident that we'll even make the playoffs. I mean, 4-2, you got to figure you would, but somehow the Detroit Lions are, you know, even better than us, outperforming us. So we got to make sure, first and foremost, that we win this freaking division. So I will go ahead and fast forward here. I will see you guys at the end when it's playoff time, and God help my soul, please let us be in it. So we actually end up going 14-3, only losing one more game after the midseason mark, which is good enough for a first round bye in the NFC. Actually, second best record in the NFL. How about that? Only team that outperformed us was the Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams. Okay, I guess Trevor Lawrence has got something going on there in Duval County that we don't know about. Looks like our division rivals Lions also made it there as well, but what happened in this season? So Jalen Hurts improves to the 6th best quarterback in terms of passing. We know that he was not having a great season, and I want to say he had 4 picks, I want to say, at the midseason mark, and ends with 5. So if my math is correct, that would mean that he only threw 1 more pick the entire season. Almost finishes at 5,000 yards. Rushing, let's see what our rushers did. Dalvin Cook did cross 1,000 yards, and he did find the end zone 14 times. Elijah Mitchell, his production is way down, obviously, but he still found pay dirt 12 times, so that's pretty good. And Hassan Haskins, somehow he found a way in there to get 2 touchdowns as well, so okay. And Brandon Ayuk continues to impress, 1,500 yards again. Well, close to 1,500 yards. He had about the same last year as well, but 18 touchdowns. What? Tyler Sexton, our superstar X Factor tight end, finally crossed that coveted 1,000 yard mark. But I got to check out Ayuk. I would have to imagine that he led the league in touchdowns. No, I see Justin Jefferson with 21, and he was second, but still 18 touchdowns, nothing to balk at, and he was 4th in the league in terms of receiving. Defensively, the middle linebacker we brought in, Devin Lloyd, he did lead our team in tackles. Also, Adrian Amos was up there as well. And Rashawn Gary does end up leading us in tackles for loss, but Khalil Mack was up there. Josh Street was up there. The executioner, George Judge, his production looks to be way down, which I don't like to see. But how about Josh Street? My man Josh Street leading us in sacks at 13. Wow. I was kind of skeptical of him going into this thing, but he has turned into quite a player, if I might say. And how about Devin Lloyd leading us in interceptions at 4? Marcus Jones, who we just brought in, had 2. Marquise Ballard, who we drafted in the first season, had 2. And then a couple players had 1. But yeah, guys, we got a first round bye here. And I mean, look, all I can say is every single year we have gotten better and better and better. If we don't win the Super Bowl this year, my heart will be broken into a million pieces. And look who we have to freaking play. None other than a division rival, the Detroit Lions, who had a better record than us at the midseason, but we somehow found a way to oust them. So before we jump into this, we got a bunch of upgrades here. I will probably let the CPU just go ahead and handle all these because these are from all season. So I'm not going to jump into this game. We are just going to sim into the next round. And if we lose, we lose. Maybe I'll do an episode 2, a part 2 or something like that. But I'm confident that we can beat the freaking Detroit Lions. I'm very confident that we can do that. So we're going to go ahead and advance. Can we pull through? We do pull through a 49-35 victory. And how about this? We go and take on the San Francisco 49ers, who, if you watch in real life, the San Francisco 49ers, they have been the Packers' kryptonite all for the last couple years. We got some upgrades. These are probably just practice squad players. No, actually, they're not. They're actually significant players. So we will go ahead and do just that. Let the CPU upgrade them before we hop into this San Francisco game. All right, so this is what we've been working to this entire time, guys. A chance to go to the Super Bowl right here. We've seen this story before in real life. The San Francisco 49ers have knocked the Green Bay Packers out of the playoffs multiple times, but we are going to dive into this thing. We will do the quick sim, and oh my God, I'm just sweating bullets over here. I know you guys can't tell, but we are so close. We have built this team up from the worst team in NFL history to a chance to go to the Super Bowl, to hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and we are only one game away. Can we do it? I have confidence in our boys. I really think that we can. So let's go ahead and see what transpires here. We are at home. So first quarter underway here. Packers get off to a quick start. They are up 7-0. San Francisco ties that with a touchdown, though. And now Packers answer with a field goal from Younghoe Koo. And now we put up, was it a field goal? I don't know, or 5? I don't know how we got that. But regardless, we're up 19-7. We're doing our thing here. We're playing good defense. We did have a high, I think the number 2 rated overall defense in the league. We're up 27-10. We are doing this thing, guys. We are moving. We are grooving. And I don't think 30-10, there's no way the Niners can come back. 37-10. Keep pouring it on. Let's go, baby. 37-10. Look at Matt LaFleur with the fist bump. The Niners coach, whoever that guy is, I don't know who that is. He can't believe it. And we are going to a bowl. Our first ever Super Bowl, 37-10. Gotta see what happened in this game. We just poured it on, not even close. It was a blowout. So Jalen Hurts, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns to no pick. And that's Brock Purdy. My man Brock Purdy just had an awful game, complete dog crap. So how do we score so many points, though? That's the question. I do not know. Dalvin Cook only had 55 rushing yards. And Reggie Gilliam, our fullback, had a touchdown. Jalen Hurts also had a rushing touchdown as well. But did our receivers ball out? Looks like Darius Slayton went over 100 yards, so that's great. Sexton found the end zone, so he proves to be a viable option. Brandon Ayuk found the end zone. But I got to figure we must have had some defensive touchdowns here. We'll check and see, but I don't know. My math's not adding up. We didn't. So maybe it was just a lot of field goals. Adrian Amos forced a fumble. Interception-wise, let's see. Don't know who that guy is. He's one of the guys that the CPU drafted. So Rashad Cohn, yes. Yep, I knew you were going to be good from the start. I always knew it. Rashawn Gary, though, 3 sacks. So, man, oh, man, we are going to the Super Bowl. How clutch would that be to cap this thing off with a Super Bowl victory here in year 5? It would be such a sweet taste of victory. We got tons of upgrades here for all these players. We're going to go ahead and just let the CPU go ahead and do that. And we are taking on the Las Vegas Raiders of all people. And I wonder if they still have Davante Adams. That's very interesting. Let's actually just look and see who the Raiders got here. So quarterback, they do got Davante Adams. So what a storyline. Davante Adams facing his former team in the Super Bowl. It doesn't get any more clutch than that. And they got Teddy Bridgewater. Derek Carr's still here, but he's terrible. Jacoby Brissett also here. But Teddy Bridgewater leads the Raiders to a Super Bowl. Josh Jacobs now up to a 99 rated overall. Of course, Davante Adams is here, 99 rated. Probably best receiver in the league. Hunter Renfrow still around. And some players that I don't know. David Bell, former Cleveland Brown. Okay. Darren Waller still in town. Offensive line looks to be pretty solid. Most of the guys that we're used to seeing. Danny Swain, superstar. Okay. Donnie Levy, auto-generated rookie. Charles Omenihu, the former Houston Texan. He's in town. And Kyle Curley. That's a name. That is a name. Deshaun Wade is here. Perion Winfrey, also another former Brown. So I guess they just got the Cleveland Browns past roster. Max Crosby still in town, now up to a 99. So Jermaine Jenkins, okay, middle linebacker, auto-generated rookie. So I'm starting to see why the Raiders made the Super Bowl. They do have a very good team. And guys, we're here. This is it. Upgrade players. Well, Baron Browning, all right, cool. You get our solo upgrade. And Super Bowl Media Day. What does the media have to say here? every coach's dream is to host the Lombardi Trophy as confetti rains down and you have a chance to do that for the first time. What would this mean to you? It would mean everything, because we saw what this team was at the beginning. We've earned 10 staff points. Great. So we are going to go ahead and dive into this thing here. It is Super Bowl time. This is everything that we have worked for. We have seen what this team started at, and we see what they are at now. We have gotten better and better every single year, so there is nothing left to do besides hoist the Lombardi Trophy. So Raiders get the ball first. They punt it back to us. We strike first. Early 7-0 lead from the Packers. And 7-0 will be your score. Now we score again, so 14-0. So far, Raiders are scoreless. 14-3. They do kick a field goal. They are able to respond, and they kick another field goal. So we're going to go into the locker room. Oh, we score once before halftime. 21-6 is your score, and we are getting very close to the fourth quarter. 28-6. Look at this defense. Number 2 or 3 rated overall in the league. 28-14 now. Got to be careful. Raiders are trying to mount a comeback. 28-21. Can they tie it up at the end? They will not. And the Packers get the Lombardi Trophy. That is what I'm talking about, man. Didn't even have to jump into that game. I thought about it there for a split second, but 28-21, we complete the 5-year rebuild with a Lombardi Trophy at the end. It's Tyler Sexton, the superstar development tight end, right there in the shot. And we will go ahead and give that trophy to Jalen Hurts. Let him touch it because he earned it. Some guy, number 72, jumping around there. Some other coach fist bumping. And oh man, Jalen Hurts, you hoist that bad boy high in the sky because you earned it. Matt LaFleur with the slow clap. If you cannot tell, I am hyped right now. Hyped as hype can be. I literally was just about to jump in when I saw it get to 28-21, but I also saw the time and I realized there wasn't enough time to do it. So how about Teddy Bridgewater? Teddy Two Gloves, man. 350 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jalen Hurts, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. As far as rushing, we didn't really do too much at all. As a matter of fact, Jalen Hurts was our leading rusher at 27 yards. And receiving, Hunter Renfrow tore us up. How about Tyler Sexton? He is the reason that we won this game. Found the end zone 3 times. You gotta love that. Interceptions, Devin Lloyd had one, so I guess it was a good thing that we brought him in, right? Bobby Wagner, we just brought him in recently. He had a sack. And how about the rookie that we drafted? It didn't even matter. Walter Childers. Rashawn Gary had a sack. Josh Street had a sack. Khalil Mack had a sack. And the executioner had a sack. So I'm speechless right now. We do cap off the 5-year rebuild. I was about to do a part 2 if we didn't win this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And I guess I would have changed the name to a 10-year rebuild. But we do cap off the 5-year rebuild with a Lombardi Trophy. Think about where we started with our team, a 51 rated overall or something like that. Think about where we're at now. We finished this season 14-3, and we did host the Lombardi Trophy. How about that? So I don't know what else can be possibly said. I think I've said everything that could be said. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do more rebuilds and more content like this, let me know in the comments below. If you like full-length franchise Madden content, go check out my Cupcake Relocation franchise. If I can point to the right part of the screen, go check out my Cupcake Relocation franchise. I do full-length Madden content weekly, and we are about to be close to 3 seasons deep. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. As always, I will catch you on the next one. Go Pack, go. Peace.